Hello everyone, I'm back for this lovely Monday. Sorry I'm a little late. Was a little tired, got up a little early, to take my doggo to the vet, but he is seems to be feeling a little bit better. He's back to meaning with the toys. He slept all day, rested up. Feels like I think he feels a little bit better, but today I have an assortment of videos to watch. I'm going to start off. I'm gonna be watching Comics Explained. There's this real science video I want to watch. Why crows are as smart as 7-year-olds. We have a few Vice videos that I'm, wanting to get through. Might break them up so we're not
Hey
hitting,
everyone, it's your
so we're not hitting the same type of content over and over again. Vary it up a little bit. But
an entire
that's what I'm doing. Sorry for having these played. I thought I had some of these paused, but yeah. Hope you all are doing okay. Probably chill out. Here we go. Okay, right now, first off, we're gonna start off with watching Comics Explain Beyond Omega Level Edifice Rex. Um, Continuing, I guess his reacting to his Beyond Omega Level series. I don't know anything about Edifice Rex. Seems pretty cool. Um, you should most definitely come to the source. Check out the video here and come in, get you know what I'm saying, get all these get all these links clicked, join all the Patreons, you know what I'm saying, join the Comics Explain Legion. I need to put these back on, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Subscribe with that bell on. Get some good content, you know how you do. You know what you want in your life. You want to watch videos that are fun, educational, and good to go. Ollie, what do you want, bro? You okay? What up? All right, we're gonna get to the video.
What's going on, guys? This is Rob. I just got back from New York and I gave myself a cold. Rahoo! So,
All right. Well, that I guess explains why there was a break in between videos. So like either that or homie went to like a Comic Con, but like some sort of con or like meeting or something like that for like comics. Because this guy normally releases like 2 or 3 videos a week, and the last video we watched was the review on that it's like Adam or Alex, or whatever. He gave me Brightburn vibes. That cat. Let's see what's we got here.
that sucks. Literally, I ordered McDonald's for breakfast. Like, I'm having it Ubered to my house, right? I'm gonna spend all day cleaning the house and playing Star Wars Fallen Order or Jedi Fallen Order because I've never played it before.
Okay.
And that's basically it. But the cool
Jedi Fallen Order actually is a pretty good game. I'm not gonna lie. I have it on PS4. I want to get it on PC so that I can play it a little bit easier. I was on like a PS4 kick, and then just
thing about being in New York is I got pictures like these two. One of the things you guys may not know about me is I'm a ridiculously talented photographer. Little secrets, little secrets. So we are covering a character today that I'm sure most of you have never heard of. I know I never heard of him. Not even gonna lie to you guys. Never heard of this guy once in my life until this script was sent to me. So before we get into this guy's origins of powers, I'm going to just say up front that this is not going to be like most of the Beyond Omega level videos that we do because this character is 100% meant to be a comedic character.
So I guess Rob doesn't know about this character either. That's crazy. I wonder whose idea was it to make this video. Probably one of the editors looking through the Patreon and was like, "Yo, the fans kind of want you to watch this." So, well, not watch this, but probably review it. You know what I'm saying? That's the better choice of words. But here, I guess he's saying that this is supposed to be a comedic character. So what's the difference between like a comedic character like Deadpool and a character like this? But I guess like Deadpool originally started off as a little darker, so that's probably also, I don't know.
Most of what we talk about going forward in this is just going to be ridiculous. But he is in the main Marvel universe, so he's in continuity, and he is without a doubt beyond Omega level. So, Edifice Rex was created by Dwayne McDuffie and Ernie Cullen, and first appeared in Damage Control #1 in 1989. And if you're not familiar, Damage Control is a group that most of you probably never even knew had a comic book run in the first place. But 2 is a company that comes in and basically cleans up after fights between superheroes and supervillains, or giant robots, or monsters, or whatever causes property damage that has to be controlled. So originally, Damage Control was owned by Tony Stark and the Kingpin Wilson Fisk, but they eventually both sell their stock, and the company is bought by another company and would eventually be funded by S.H.I.E.L.D. Anyway, Rex Randolph is just a guy that works for Damage Control, and he's working on a cleanup job, and he finds a glowing green orb. Of course, he touches it, which is what I would do, what most any of you guys would do. Just be like, what is this? I'm gonna touch it. Let's see what happens. And upon doing so, he begins to transform. Now, he remarks that his cells are forming at incredible speed, causing his muscles to grow, before stating that his place is no longer on Earth and that his destiny lies elsewhere, and flies off to some unknown destination. Now, after that, we don't really see him again for 2 years. There are 3 more issues in the first Damage Control.
So they just gave this guy his powers and was just like, there we go. But I mean, I guess that's not too bad. That's kind of cool though. Yeah.
Miniseries, and Rex isn't even mentioned, nor is he mentioned in the 4-issue miniseries that came out later in 1989 and stretched into 1990. It isn't until the 3rd Damage Control miniseries in 1991 that Rex comes back into the picture, and by this time, Damage Control has found itself at the center of some controversy because they start showing up to jobs before any damage is actually done, so people begin getting suspicious that maybe they're actually causing destruction at these sites so that they'll have something to clean up and then make money.
Yeah, it would be kind of sus if, it just so happened the people who were cleaning up the job were at the job before, any damage was there. And then if any damage did arise, you'd be like, huh, where did that come from? It wasn't there when, wasn't there earlier, no.
Now, one of the people who has
I just changed how my mic is oriented. I wanted to see if I potentially sound a little bit better. So if new viewers come in and let me know.
this suspicion is Robert Baldwin, who is an intern at Damage Control, but who is also the superhero known as Speedball.
Who is an intern at Damage Control, and he's also a superhero known as Speedball. Would that not be a conflict of interest? Considering, he could be potentially, creating some of the damage that he, that is out there, and then potentially get paid to, fix it. Even though he's an intern, it could be a paid internship. I'm just saying, wouldn't that be a conflict of interest to be a superhero and then work for the same company that then cleans up after yourself? I mean, yeah, that's cool, but aren't they taking, like money for that, like doing contracts and stuff for that stuff? I don't know.
A member of the New Warriors, which was a team that was relatively new to Marvel at the time and was kind of like the Young Avengers before the Young Avengers were a thing. I want to be honest with you guys, right? Back in the day, New Warriors were legit. I don't care what anybody says. Like, way back in the day when the New Warriors first came around, they were pretty solid, man. So anyway, Speedball basically tells the New Warriors what he thinks is going on with Damage Control, and then tips them off that Damage Control is going to Yankee Stadium while a game is going on. Now, among those people in the audience is the Incredible Hulk, looking absolutely ridiculous in a Yankees hat. And
why did they make the Hulk look like that? Like, what is he going through? It's just like, it'd be different, I guess, if it were like the Gray Hulk, whatever his name is. I know he has like a persona that works out of Las Vegas or something like that. I don't know why they do Hulk like that.
talking to people about Star Trek. But right after the new Warriors confront damage control, a glowing green orb appears and transforms into Rex Randolph, who now goes by the nickname Edifice Rex, who informs them that he now possesses powers of cosmic proportions. Now he goes on to recount the day that he came into contact with the green globe, which we still get no explanation of in terms of what it was or where it came from, par for the course, but we do know that it made him incredibly powerful and gave him a very specific sort of cosmic awareness. Now Rex has decided to use his powers to achieve the goals of damage control, to clean, repair, and restore, and he calls himself cosmically anal retentive, which basically just means that he is a neat freak and likes to have everything in order. But the fact that he refers to this ability as anal awareness is admittedly pretty amazing. I absolutely love that. But we immediately see that Rex has gained some sort of reality warping or matter manipulation abilities as he's able to level out a piece of damage to Earth by simply waving his hand. Not only that, but he's able to do things like add starch to Marvel Boy's cape and take away a kid's need to go to the bathroom with a wave of his hand as well. And so it does seem like he can alter reality on a whim, even though the way he's doing it is just purposefully absurd. But when the new Warriors realize how powerful Rex is, they decide to attack him. Genius level move there, guys. No wonder Civil War happened. But he basically thwarts their attack instantly by encasing them all in double mylar bags, which, if you're into collecting comics, is a popular way of preserving books. Literally, he board and bagged the new Warriors. Those of you guys who don't know what that means, whenever you go to buy a comic book, they'll ask you, do you want a board, board and bag? Depending on what store you go to, sometimes they'll just give you the board and bag like a dick. Other times they'll put the comic in there for you. Sometimes they won't do it because they don't want to take the risk of damaging the comic. But literally, you go to a comic book store, you see a comic book, you see somebody with one, and it's got like a board in the back in like a clear bag. That's a mylar bag, right? Board and bag. So while he's doing that, Rex basically gets the idea to just tidy up the whole universe all at once, which draws the attention of Lord Chaos, the cosmic entity that is the embodiment of chaos in the Marvel Universe. Now, Lord Chaos has a counterpart in Master Order, and the two of them balance one another out, but Rex's plan would, of course, throw that balance off. So, Lord Chaos approaches Galactus and invites him to attend a meeting of the cosmic entities who are convening to decide what to do about Rex. Now, Galactus agrees to attend, but recruits the Silver Surfer to go to Earth and then retrieve the only people who can stop Edifice Rex from carrying out his plan. The Surfer agrees and goes to Earth, where all of the heroes are conveniently gathered to attend the premiere of a movie about damage control, which nobody would ever do. I mean, damage control was supposed to be watched it because it sounds terrible, but he tells the heroes the reason for his visit, saying that the universe Damage Control was supposed to be a TV show, and as I understand, maybe it was a TV show, maybe it wasn't, I don't know. I would never have watched it because it's
Yeah, I don't think I would have watched Damage Control as a TV show either. I don't think it would have been that interesting, but
sounds terrible, but he tells the heroes the reason for his visit, saying that the universe is on the brink of destruction. Now, Iron Man attempts to answer his question by a simple
hold on, let me go back on this. I feel like I missed something here.
He refers to this ability as anal awareness is admittedly pretty amazing. I absolutely love that. But
okay, that's what I missed. I got caught up on that right here. So he's saying that's his superpower?
We immediately see that Rex has gained some sort of reality warping or matter manipulation abilities as he's able to level out a piece of damage to Earth by simply waving his hand. Not only that, but he's able to do things like add starch to Marvel Boy's cape and take away a kid's need to go to the bathroom with a wave of his hand as well. And so it does seem like he can alter reality on a whim, even though the way he's doing it is just purposefully absurd. But when the new Warriors realize how powerful Rex is, they decide to attack him. Genius level move there, guys.
Why would they attack this guy?
No wonder Civil War happened. But he basically thwarts their attack instantly by encasing them all in double mylar bags, which, if you're into collecting comics,
Civil War did happen because they were like, you know, guys, you know what we should do? We should try to attack people, you know, because they don't want to let people know they have a superpower. You're like, why wouldn't they want people to know that they had a superpower? And it's like, because, you know, things get hacked, you know, and I wouldn't want my information out there. That's so people could just be like, hey, I now know that you have this power, and you know, conveniently I need that power to continue forth with my plans. And you're like, I don't know how I feel about that, buddy. And they're like, you know, I know you would say something like that, but I don't care. But hey,
comics is a popular way of preserving books. Literally, it's like he board and bagged the New Warriors. Those of you guys who don't know what that means, whenever you go to buy a comic book, they'll ask you, do you want a board, like you want a board and bag? Depending on what store you go to, sometimes they'll just give you the board and bag like a dick. Other times they'll put the comic in there for you. Sometimes they won't do it because they don't want to take the risk of damaging the comic. But literally, you go to a comic book store, you see a comic book, you see somebody with one, and it's got like a board in the back and like a clear bag. That's a Mylar bag, right? Board and bagged. So while he's doing that, Rex basically gets the idea to just tidy up the whole universe all at once, which draws the attention of Lord Chaos, the cosmic entity that is the embodiment of chaos.
Oh yeah, that would make Chaos mad if he made everything clean and orderly.
Chaos in the Marvel Universe.
Yeah, I'd mess up a lot of stuff.
Now, Lord Chaos.
It'd be like Thanos type stuff where he's like, I'm trying to balance the universe. Oh. MCU Thanos.
Chaos has a counterpart in Master Order, and the two of them balance one another out, but Rex's plan would, of course, throw that balance off. So, Lord Chaos approaches Galactus and invites him to attend a meeting of the cosmic entities who are convening to decide what to do about Rex. Now, Galactus agrees to attend, but recruits the Silver Surfer to go to Earth and then retrieve the only people who can stop Edifice Rex from carrying out his plan. The Surfer agrees and goes to Earth, where all of the heroes are conveniently gathered to attend the premiere of a movie about damage control, which nobody would ever do. I mean, Damage Control was supposed to be a TV show, and as I understand, maybe it was a TV show, maybe it wasn't, I don't know. I would never have watched it because it sounds terrible, but he tells the heroes the reason for his visit, saying that the universe is on the brink of destruction. Now, Iron Man attempts to answer his question by assembling the Avengers, but the Surfer reveals that the only team that can save the universe is Damage Control. So, Damage Control goes with the Surfer into space, and they arrive at a meeting of the Cosmic Abstracts. Lord Chaos, Master Order, Galactus, Death, the In-Betweener, Oblivion, and Eternity. I mean, the whole team's here. Of course, Uwatch of the Watcher's there because he's there to watch, which is literally all he's good for.
Yeah.
So we know if all these superpowered entities are gathered to talk about Edifice Rex and how to deal with him, this guy's a threat to the whole universe. So we're already way beyond Omega level just right here. But during the meeting, Rex displays his power once more by giving...
What would they do with him? Like, why would they want to stop him? Like Eternity, for example. Would he, like, stop things from progressing because through progress it would cause chaos and destruction and orderliness? So he would just stagnate everything, potentially. And then Order... Would Order enjoy him? Unless his version of cleanliness isn't orderly as Order, and we go against Order, but is still negating chaos, which would make Chaos mad? I would like to see that.
Infinity a manicure, which, while this is once again meant comedically, he alters the appearance of a cosmic abstract. Just take that in for a second. This guy changes the way a cosmic entity looks, even in continuity. The only being out there who's been able to physically change the way a character looks, just on a whim by altering them, was in the old Fantastic Four stories, not really the old ones, but the moderately old Fantastic Four stories, when the Fantastic Four met God, and he fixed the scar on Reed Richards' face, I think it was. The only time we've ever really seen that happen in this way, right? So you could make a legitimate argument this guy's power is on the level of God, but regardless, this guy has a great deal of power. So the Cosmic Council then questions Rex as to what he intends to do with his power, and he tells them that because everything got so messy after the Big Bang, that he's going to put things back to how they were prior to the Big Bang, meaning he's going to put everything back into a cosmic egg, like it was before it exploded. Rex then returns to Earth, and when asked by Damage Control why they don't stop him, they straight up admit that they can't.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to stop. I don't think they could stop this kind of guy. They probably just made him mad instead of, like, they should have just, like, talked to him instead of fighting him, because after fighting him, he came to the conclusion that everything was probably really messy, more messy than what, you know?
Literally, the cosmic entities are like, because we can't. There's nothing we can do here, right? Like, they literally say that engaging in battle with Rex would result in grave damage to them and upset the balance of the universe. Now, the Silver Surfer brings Damage Control back to Earth, where all the heroes, the Avengers, the X-Men, Fantastic Four, the New Warriors, they've all gathered to mount one last stand against Edifice Rex, who I forgot to mention has enlarged his own size so that he's the same height as Galactus by this point.
Of course he would. He's like, I gotta be big and flex on all of you. Let them know
But before the battle breaks out, the guy in charge of damage control, a dude named John Porter, simply fires Rex. That's it. Like, he literally just says, "You're fired." And
Oh
Rex shrinks
man.
back to normal size and heads for the unemployment line, and the threat is neutralized. I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong, there's nothing serious about this, and it's absolutely ridiculous, right? It's a ridiculous ending to a pretty ridiculous story, and we've never seen or heard from Edifice Rex again, to my knowledge.
So like the only reason why he was doing this was because he was a part of damage control and he just was doing he thought he was doing his job. Huh. Damn it. They're the villain.
Knowledge. So yeah, I mean, the stuff this guy did was just crazy. Is the story meant to be taken seriously?
And the
No.
hero.
Right? And if you get pissed off because of how this story was, like, if you're like, that's a ridiculous ending, yeah, I know. It's supposed to be. So with that being said, guys.
Yeah, they had no way to really end it, so they just like, oh, what if we fired him? He was just doing his job, and he was like, well, so I wonder what would happen if someone else hired him to do something else. What would he do with his ability? Would he like, if Avengers were like stop evil, would he just do like go that extreme as well?
Guys, we're gonna bring this to an end.
Alright, you all. That was Beyond Omega Level Edifice Rex by Comics Explained. If you don't know who this legend is, you need to go to their channel and check them out. They have a Twitter, Instagram, and all that jazz. They are one of they are to me they are one of the greatest comics reviewers out there on YouTube. I feel like this guy set the standard for reviewing comics. That's just my opinion. I've been following this guy. I don't remember. I've been watching this guy's channel since like 2014, and he's been making some good videos, man. But we are going to move on to the next one after this here in a second. But I have a few more things to say. Again, follow this guy. Great, one of the greatest. He has a lot of merch, a lot of good stuff. I plan to learn a little bit more about how to use analytics by following, like, by watching some of the stuff here. Like, this guy understands the algorithm. Like, I don't have any of this stuff in any of my videos. And this right here probably is good, not having it linked actually to the Twitter, Facebook, and the Instagram, because you would think, I would believe that YouTube would lower, like, disincentivize content like that. But um this guy's the GOAT. A lot of great content. Always has some knowledgeable things. Uh, he has another channel called Geek Culture Explained, where he talks about more of the yes, comics and shows that are on like Disney Plus, Netflix, and stuff like that are like comic related. He's been talking about the Obi-Wan show recently, as well as he went over the Doctor Strange content whenever it was come out. So yeah, let's go on to this next video. We're gonna be watching, hold on, let me get some more coffee real quick. Hello, everyone. We are back with another video here. We're watching why crows are as smart as a 7-year-old human. Or why are crows as smart as 7-year-old humans? Same thing, just worded differently. All right, let's watch this. I really like this because I've been watching a few videos over the years talking about how um crows are like in wood tier, and I know apes are in like stone tier for the most part. And like, if we think about it, if we keep like moving forward, right? Like, I know we're evolving, but you know, everything else around us is progressing as well. And as long as crows, keep adapting, I feel like maybe one day we may have like a lower level bird society. Think about it. Yeah, think about it. I think it'd be pretty cool because they already can communicate. The only thing they really need to do is learn how to communicate with us. If they learn how to communicate with us, then we're gonna like freak out. That's gonna make a lot of people not feel okay. But let's get started on this.
In the animal kingdom, intelligence has evolved in many different ways in many different creatures. We often think of our fellow primates at the top of the intelligence list, with their ability to use tools like sticks and rocks to access food, and with their ability to recognize themselves in the mirror. Orcas, too, are among the most intelligent, with their unique language skills and orchestrated hunting techniques. And anyone with a dog is constantly surprised at complex feats of social intelligence and emotional sensitivity. Intelligence seems to thrive in animals like this, mammals, often carnivorous ones, that live in tight social groups. But if we survey the world of animals, one of the smartest is one that is perhaps unexpected. An animal that isn't a mammal at all, but a bird, crows. Or more generally, corvids. Corvids are mischievous, playful, and extremely intelligent.
They are awesome. Okay, and I have to agree. I love how smart doggos are. My Ollie, genius, genius. That's all I gotta say. He's a genius.
They use tools to forage and to solve complex problems. They even drop nuts on a road for cars to crack, and then pick them up with the safety of pedestrian lights. They can also
Hey.
recognize
That is pretty smart because like they all they do is really watch and see where we walk and where cars go. Hey, that is smart AF. That's scary smart, bro. I love this. Nah, we need to give them some like it's probably all them chicken nuggets and hamburgers that we that we throwing away. They eating that and they like, the hormones have caused my brain to get a little bigger. Thank you, humans. Thank you.
faces and can hold a grudge against someone who was rude to them for several years. They can mimic sounds that they hear, and scientists have found that their problem-solving skills rival that of a 7-year-old human. How is it that crows are so profoundly intelligent?
Because they gotta hunt, baby. They gotta figure out strategy to eat. I feel like animals, but I just say that mammals that I guess are that eat veggies are not smart. To me, it's just like the strat to get the veggies is a lot lower when it's in abundance over creatures who eat meat or eat both. Because when they eat and they want to they have a hankering for that protein. They gotta, they got somebody got to give up the ghost, and 9 times out of 10, it ain't gonna be that easy. So they gotta find a nice solid strat to outthink the prey. So they are constantly thinking of new things and watching and adapting how they act. So over time, the creatures that are able to problem solve the best are more likely to be able to obtain the prey animal that they want. In this case, like if a crow's like, I want a bug, right? Well, if the bug's in a tree, well, I got to figure out how to get into the tree. And then the crow that's like, you know what? This stick is small. Okay, stick is small. Is hole small? What if I poke stick in hole? Boom. All right. Gears turning. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it.
And
Yeah, they have to be able to do that. And that's the only thing I see different. Because when I can just be like, grass. Let me just eat the grass. Or, oh, no more grass. The most you have to think about is, where can I go to get more grass? You just kind of walk a little bit. And you're like, more grass. More leaves. Let me walk over here. Still, they have to be able to, like, outmaneuver, like, a fox or coyote that's coming for them. But, like, I think it's more about, like, them wanting to, the constant urge to eat in this level, where it's not of abundance. They over here big thinking about how to get some steak.
how is it that we even measure their intelligence in the first place? Is bird intelligence wired in the same way as mammal intelligence?
Why not?
Or is it something different altogether? The corvid
All right, first of all, they're probably human. Like, well, they're probably is smart on human standards. But I guess let's get what we care about.
family is also known as the crow family, and includes crows, jays, ravens, rooks, and magpies.
Huh.
The level of intelligence varies between the species, but scientists have found that the New Caledonian crow is the most intelligent. They're to corvids what we are to the rest of the primates. In 2014, the crows were presented with various tubes filled with water, with a treat floating on top, which they couldn't quite reach. In one trial, when presented with a treat inside a tube of water and a treat sitting on top of sand, the crows knew to drop rocks into the water-filled tube to raise the water level to reach the treat, and ignored the tube with sand.
That's
In the
smart.
next trial, when presented with a single tube of water and objects with various densities, the crows knew to select the sinking objects rather than the floating ones to reach the treat. When presented with two tubes of differing water levels, the crows knew to drop objects in the tube with the higher water level to reach the treat faster. These
Okay.
trials demonstrated the crows' abilities in both problem solving and tool use.
That is wild. I wish I would have seen. I think I did see some of these, but not this one right here. That is great. I wish I could see some of this in action.
And the authors believe that their skill level at deciphering and completing these tasks is similar to 5 to 7-year-old children. However, in two more challenging tasks, the crows didn't perform as well. One required understanding the difference in a wide tube versus a narrow tube, and another was a counterintuitive task, where the tube with the reward was connected to another tube via a hidden U-bend. The crows didn't fully grasp these setups. But in comparison, during tests with human children, only kids around 8 years old were able to consistently solve such tests. And in addition to using tools, New Caledonian crows can build tools, and not just simple ones.
Do you think if they got a community of these crows, to do these tests more and more and more, and then like they would be eventually better at completing these tasks, considering like if they can learn, you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
But one
I think that'd be interesting because if they can complete the task, I really can well, I remember in one video they most definitely were able to pass on some knowledge to the next generation. So they had like crows trying to do this like for long periods of time. They could become really smart. I believe a lot of them figuring stuff out and just like, hey, do this.
ones with
Because I mean that's how we learn.
multiple parts. When
Well, for the most part. Sorry for keep pausing this.
given objects that were too short to retrieve food from a puzzle box,
How about this? We're gonna do this. We're gonna go back and we're gonna watch this without me pausing.
tools. And not just simple ones, but ones with multiple parts. When given objects that were too short to retrieve food from a puzzle box, the crows combined elements by inserting one stick into the hollowed opening of another to make a tool long enough to reach the food. One crow even made 3- and 4-part tools. Compound tool construction like this has only been observed outside humans in a few captive great apes.
Okay.
It's usually only associated with human intelligence. And in addition to this, we now think crows might be better than we ever could have imagined at making plans for the future. The ability to take actions now that will give a benefit later is not something that most animals are good at. Delayed gratification and planning are high-order skills. Human children can't do this, and neither can many of the adults that I know. It requires our memory of the past and foresight for future events. Can crows, of all animals, really possess this ability? In a study published in 2020, New Caledonian crows were first shown one of 3 puzzle boxes that they already knew how to open, each requiring a specific tool. They were then removed from the test area for 5 minutes before being presented with 5 different objects. 1 tool for each of the boxes and 2 distraction objects. After selecting an object and waiting 10 minutes, they were allowed back into the test area. The researchers discovered that not only did the birds choose the correct tool that would open the corresponding puzzle box, but they would remember to bring the tool with them into the test area.
That is the best thing ever, man. Oh my gosh. They are smart. They're like, bro, what's up, man? What you got me doing? All right, so you want me to get the food out the box. All right, what do I need at the box? All right, we need this rock. All right, thank you. Then we get this rock. Then we got the food at the box. Now I'm going to get that eats. Thank you.
In another study, researchers presented the birds with a locked box with a treat in a similar manner. But this time, the birds were then presented with an assortment of items, including the correct tool, a few distractor tools, and an immediate food reward, but one that was less appealing than the one in the locked box. And most of the time, the birds took the risk and delayed their gratification, kept the correct tool, and later opened the box with the better treat. This might seem easy to us, but it isn't. Only once human children reach 5 years old does this ability arise, and even then,
Are crows over here? Are these crows over here big plotting right now, man? What what if they're watching and manipulating us now? What are we gonna do about this? We're gonna create an alliance with the crows? Alright, I need to find me some crows, and I need to, need to make some allies quick before they try to take over. No, I'm kidding. I mean, realistically though, they watched how we kind of did things. I wonder if they'd be nicer to us. We wouldn't be nice to them, I don't think. We're not nice. I don't think humans are nice as a species. We're trying really hard, but we have a long way to go.
doesn't in all of them. For some, it takes a few more years. These mental skills certainly set crows apart from other animals,
Sure
with their
does.
actions and abilities more in line with the smartest of the primates. How does this bird give the most intelligent primates a run for their money? Why does a bird need to be this smart?
That is a good question. Why are crows smart?
Even though crows may have a similar intelligence to many primates, bird brains and primate brains are not at all the same. Birds
Goes to show you that we don't know anything about how the brain works, anything about intelligence.
and mammals split on the evolutionary tree 320 million years ago. And since then, their brains have become quite distinct from one another, making scientists question exactly why corvids are so smart. In vertebrates, the pallium is the gray and white matter that covers the brain.
Okay.
Before the evolutionary split, both birds and mammals evolved a large pallium. But after their lineages split, the mammalian pallium evolved into a layered structure known as the cerebral cortex.
Okay.
This is the most complex structure of the mammalian brain. Each layer contains nerve fibers running horizontally and vertically that process and transmit information. Here is where many important functions take place, including learning, memory, sensory perception, and conceptual thinking. Birds don't have a cerebral cortex, but a study published in 2020 found that the fibers in circuitry in the bird pallium are organized very similarly to a mammalian neocortex, with fibers running both horizontally and vertically. The authors believe this explains where bird intelligence comes from. Another reason why birds were initially thought to be
So they ain't got the same setup, but they almost have, same equipment. Okay.
incapable of this level of intelligence was due to the small size of their brains.
Yeah, I would say. Their
But
heads are a
it's
little
not the
smaller.
absolute size of an animal's brain that matters, but the brain-to-body ratio. Crows tend to have big brains compared to their body size.
Okay.
In mammals, the bigger-brained individuals are humans and dolphins. In birds, it's parrots and crows. However,
Parrots and crows can talk. Now, that is something too. Parrots and crows. Parrots can talk, but not crows.
as scientists' understanding of the brain grew, they discovered it wasn't just size that mattered, or even brain size relative to body size. A big proponent of an animal's intelligence is the density of neurons.
Okay.
This is because having
Well, I guess they originally thought that if you have a big brain, then you would be smarter. But if it's about neuron density, then I guess it would kind of make sense. Because, like, if you have a bigger brain, then you would kind of have more neurons in a sense. But if the brain was able to figure out how to compact all those neurons and efficiently, then it could potentially have the same result. That's pretty cool.
tightly packed neurons leads to better communication between them.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out that certain bird species have very densely packed neurons. In a 2016 study, researchers measured the number of neurons in various bird and primate species.
What?
They found that some birds, like corvids, have twice as many neurons as primates with similar-sized brains,
Oh my
with
gosh.
numbers closer to that of larger primates. While these findings tell us
That's
how
crazy.
crows are so smart, the question remains as to why. Plenty of bird species thrive with fewer neurons and weaker mental abilities.
It's because they're built to survive.
So why did crows evolve this way?
They're built to survive.
One theory is that it has to do with the way they are raised.
Probably.
Unlike other species, corvids spend more time with their parents. New Caledonia
Ooh, that would make sense, because if you have more time to stay with your parents, then the likelihood of survival is greater, and the more successful habits can be passed on to the next generation versus just allowing them to do whatever.
crows are fed by their parents for up to 2 years. During this time,
Oh,
they have
man.
ample access to role models who are making and using tools and have the opportunity to use these tools themselves. This extended parenting time allows skills to be transmitted vertically, meaning from parent to offspring.
I believe this is largely the reason why they're intelligent. Just because I know with kids, like the earlier you start educating them, the greater they can begin learning. And if you have a bird that's like, all right, first day of class of living, we're gonna be using this little poker to get some larvae out of wood. They're gonna be like, huh? This is great.
The
They all go to school.
family groups of many species of crow can be very tight, with young crows even helping to defend their parents' new nest of babies. However, beyond tight family groups, adults of many species of corvids don't lead particularly social lives.
Okay.
New Caledonian crows mate for life, but otherwise don't really interact with other adults. Other species of corvid will often forage and roost in large groups, or work together to mob a predator. But there isn't a social hierarchy or complex social bonds in these settings. This seems to go against one leading theory of intelligence, called the social intelligence hypothesis. Chimpanzees, for example, live in large and complex social groups, where they have to interact with others outside their immediate family and keep tabs on many relationships. It's a constant game of politics.
It's because something's wrong with us. Was ape folks.
Dogs, wolves, and even orcas have to deal with a great amount of social complexity.
It's the mammalian defect. Wink, wink. No, I'm kidding. we gotta be on top. The bird's like, why don't you just chill, man? You know what I'm saying? Like everybody just, everybody work together, get some food. You know what I'm saying? We all fly. We just chill, bro. We're all like, no, I must rule. I must be the number one. Alta.
And this social intelligence needs a lot of brain power.
Yeah.
If adults of many of the smartest corvids don't live in complex social groups, why would a similar intelligence have evolved? Adult corvids may rarely live in wide social groups, but often juveniles do. Before pairing up with a mating partner, during their teenage years, some species of corvids live in larger flocks, aptly called juvenile gangs. And these gangs work exactly like they sound. A bunch of teenagers hang out and bully each other and fight. In these angsty years, corvids, like ravens for example, form the many relationships that they have to keep tabs on. And intriguingly, corvids may need social intelligence to interact with other species.
I know, I think it's crows and owls. I'm pretty sure they have like a feud, like a bird feud. Like owls are like crows on sight, and now crows are like, owl, we mobbing him, we got him, don't sleep.
Outside of Yellowstone National Park, certain ravens have been seen interacting with wolves, especially wolf pups. The animals have been seen playing tug of war, and the ravens tease and entice the puppies to jump and grab sticks. Sometimes the ravens will even pull the wolves' tails. By all accounts, it looks like the animals are playing. Some
cute.
Scientists think that individual ravens may even develop special bonds with individual wolves within a pack. This relationship building may help the ravens more readily scavenge the wolves' kills. This propensity to interact with others.
If you think about it, like, imagine a wolf has like a crow buddy, right? And they like just chill, right? If the crow gets spooked, then the wolf will be like, hey, what's happening? And at the same time, the crow can get free food from the wolf by being his homie. You know what I'm saying? He can be like, hey, bro, I got a kill for you. I got this kill across the way. You know what I'm saying? I do some scouting out. You know what I'm saying? Give you some eats.
Species has some groups wondering how we may be able to cooperate with.
Because I think like didn't we domesticate wolves and stuff the same way? Because we were like, hey, bro, we can work together on this thing. You know what I'm saying? We can we can chill out. And a lot of times I feel like animals, they work very well with humans because like apes, they used to groom each other and get like bugs and ticks off of each other, right? To eat them. And like think about imagine early humans who still ate bugs. Like they would find bugs on the dogs and everything like that were edible, or just pull them off, you know what I'm saying? Because we groom them. And imagine not having ticks and all these bugs on you all the time because a human keeps you clean. They kind of keep themselves moderately clean after a while, right? You're gonna live way longer than an animal in the wild over time, just because you aren't exposed to all that in your new environment. So I think that'd be pretty cool because if imagine a crow is chilling with the wolf, and the crow's just sitting on his back. He's like, tick, these bugs, they're all around you. Free food, you know what I'm saying, and free protection while you eat, because homie's just gonna chill. He ain't gonna fight you really. He probably don't care too much.
Corvids. One idea is to train crows and other corvids to pick up cigarette butts or garbage. A few different companies are developing devices that will autonomously train the birds, giving them a treat once they place the trash into the device. A theme park in France has already been undertaking a similar operation.
Smart. We get the birds to recycle for us so we don't have to do it ourselves. We needed to be doing this from the beginning. Why are we teaching more animals to take care of us? They need to call PETA.
They trained 6 rooks to pick up trash 4 days a week under the supervision of the park's falconer.
Okay.
While it may seem like we're taking advantage of these birds and their intelligence by having them do something we should already be doing ourselves.
I mean, we are kind of like, having them do our work, dirty work, quite literally.
Those involved seem to have good intentions. It helps the environment, teaches humans to cooperate with another species.
That is true, because if we can get along with the smart crows now, then we'll be okay in the future. Just normalize it now before somebody gets the weird idea to start being mean to them.
And teaches the public about these intelligent creatures. By studying other intelligent species and what made them that way, scientists have gained a better understanding of the brain and its development. And for all we know, we could be overlooking other small-brained species that could harbor a higher intelligence. Other animals that can help us unlock the many secrets of the brain.
Okay.
I love talking about animal intelligence on this channel because I love the way the brain works. I love its mysteries and its unbelievable power. And because of this, I love the feeling of learning, of grasping new concepts, of those moments of sudden understanding washing over you. When physics and math and chemistry and biology start to click together, feeling like one beautiful interconnected machine that explains our universe. And I'd like to think that crows feel this too when they get their treat out of the tube. And to engage myself in STEM learning, I use Brilliant.
Oh, it's the ad.
Brilliant is an amazing...
It's the ad. I use Brilliant. Get smart, big brain, learn stuff. All right, yeah, that was great. That was great. I didn't know that crows were so smart. I mean, I did. But I mean, like, I didn't know that we were already, like, training them to do, like, weird stuff, like pick up our trash. And I didn't know that, they could, plot and pick tools out to then later make moves. That was surprising to me. I never really expected that, but I do enjoy the fact that that is something that they're capable of doing. I do believe that a large part of their intelligence does come from the fact that they are raised by their parents for like 2 years, and then after 2 years they like go off and like do their own thing with the squad. Like, it's pretty cool. And the fact that some of these crows, they sit in the national park, I don't remember which one, I can go back, but they form a relationship with wolf pups so that they are then able to create like relationships where that benefit each other. So like, I wonder on what level they're able to like communicate, and or if they do communicate, or if it's just like, hey bro, we're just having fun, or they just kind of like know what each other's intent is. I'm really hype about this. This video made me really happy. I like learning about other creatures because, like, one, they're all really smart. I just feel like we don't really give them any credit at all. We always think that humans are on top, but I think that like there are a lot of creatures like birds can do better things than humans can do, but the fact that this bird is pretty much becoming like the human of the birds, that is really cool. Because like they're not saying that like other birds cannot perform the same task. It's just that more likely than not, corvids are on top when it comes to this. Like, I wonder if like parrots can create tools, but like I know they can talk, Like that's really cool. Like who would have thought that they would have been able to repeat what we say or even understand? I wonder if they understand what we say or if it's just like they just get the pattern after a while or something. But I'm going to go get me another cup of coffee and then I'm going to start the next video if that's okay with you. So let me move this to the intermission and then I will be right back if you do not mind. Hello, hello, hello. I am back. Okay. Think I'm here. I'm in the middle of an ad, but this one I think I want to watch. I want to watch the PFP one. Ooh. Okay. We're going to watch Goblin Town is the PFP we deserve, but is it all just a big joke? Unless you've been living under an ether rock for the past week, chances are you've heard of Goblin Town, the free-to-mint collection of 10,000 ugly bastards taking the NFT space by storm and turning the rulebook on its head. The 24-hour trading volume alone is dizzying stuff, and the floor just keeps rising. But most astonishing of all is the way Goblin Town achieved this quick, meteoric ascent, because far from the building hype across the tired and tested channels, the team took an altogether different approach and flipped the script entirely. So let's zoom out way back to the 21st of May. Alright, yeah, this is all their stuff. Oh, I use Matcha. Matcha's pretty good. You can like trade, cross network and all that stuff with your wallet. It's pretty deal. But we're gonna watch Goblin Town is the PFP we deserve, but is it all just a big joke? You see? Trying to figure it out. Because a lot of these PFP projects kind of are, you know, a little scammy, just a little scammy, you know. Some people don't really understand how to run a project or understand how to like come back from a project if there are issues. It's all about, you know, not throwing in the towel. As long as if you throw in the towel, then why are people there to stay? Especially if there's no real reason to throw in the towel and not every project mints out, especially if you're not really engaging the Discord.
Fuck. Wrecked again. Johnny Depp, come on, man! Give me some of your good juice.
Johnny Depp.
I'm so fucking hungry.
You say Did you say Johnny Depp? Give me some of your good juice. What the heck?
You're a fucking beggar. Anyone? McDonald's? I'll lick your balls for a Big Mac. Anyone? Wait a second. Wait a second. No. What's this? It's not Halloween. Burger? Goblin burger? I don't really fancy one of them. Yeah. Like, no one's gonna buy this. Oh, I see. You're me. Yes. This is the Defiant. Boo!
All right, the producers and the team behind the Defiant, y'all are great, man. I love y'all, man. I love y'all. If y'all ever come across these videos, me sitting here watching y'all and talking about your videos, know that where am I at? This guy right here, the guy with the goblin, super massive.
Unless you've been living under an ether rock.
Me, I didn't know anything about the Goblin PFPs until I looked on Rarible and was like, what the heck? But we can take a look at some NFTs here in a little bit.
For the past week, chances are you've heard of Goblin Town.
Haven't.
The free to mint collection of 10,000 ugly bastards taking the NFT space by storm and turning the rulebook on its head. The 24-hour trading volume alone is dizzying stuff, and the floor just keeps on rising. But most astonishing of all is the way Goblin Town achieved this quick and meteoric ascent, because far from doing the usual, building hype across the tried and tested channels, my 100K Discord, you know what I'm saying? The team took an altogether different approach and flipped the script entirely. So let's zoom out way back to the 21st of May. The official mint came and went with little
Hey, welcome to the stream. Currently, we are watching Goblin Town is the PFP we deserve. Thank you for joining us today, and I hope you enjoy your stay. If you do not mind, if the mic or the quality is not to your liking, please leave a post or comment. Love you all.
fanfare, but a strong message. Don't be fucking greedy. That's how we got ourselves here. Now, yes, this is satire, but would anyone
It is how we got here, but yes, goblins are.
really care? It was low effort, and that was basically it. We're talking no whitelist, no collaborations, no influencers, no Discord server, no roadmap, zero utilities, zero promises, a Creative Commons zero license, and as for a certifiably undoxed team, well, no chance. But they did have a few things in their favor. Cool art, if you like that kind of thing, but also some friends in high places like this guy, Mike Dudas, founder of the block and proud owner of this flaccid, cock-nosed gargoyle from hell. Yep, Mike pointed out a few key points. Number one, I know the terrific team who created it. Two, I pointed out the free mint to the public as a favor to them. I'm the public because I love the team. Oh, Mike,
nice,
you're so generous. And three, he subtly hyped the mysterious element to the project. Well, as is often the way, word soon spread, and just a few days later, I'm coming back down again, Alp, because my knees hurt. Getting old, yeah? One of the most extraordinary pieces of contemporary art theatre ever in crypto took place on the people's platform, Twitter. And good fucking God, what do you make of this? Your ears do not deceive you. Yes, in a soundscape reminiscent of the Battle of Helm's Deep, almost 30,000 aspiring Urukai participated in a 3.5-hour Twitter space unintelligible to the human ear, a kind of cultish goblin conference that turned out to be one of the most viral organic NFT marketing campaigns of all time. And people jumped in there trying to have their voices heard, like K-Money trying to ask serious questions. It was bananas. What a time to be alive.
Wow. Dude, I would have been, my head would have hurt being in here. I honestly want to get back into the Twitter spaces If you all have Twitter, follow me. Go to that link tree.
So, what the hell is going on? Why has Goblin Town captured the public imagination, and why are we making a video about it? Do we have a future, quote-unquote, blue chip in the making, or just another flash in the pan? And underpinning all these questions, who are the wizards behind this ingenious collection? And before we get into all of that, let's hear a word from our sponsors. When you shop for plane tickets, you probably use Kayak, Expedia, or Google Flights. So why?
All right, let's get past this because I'm not really trying to watch there. No, Matcha is great. I love Matcha. I use it. It's built on the OX protocol for trading. You can do some great things. Skip through all this. Sorry, buddy. I love you. If you guys want to watch his ads, you go to the channel.
At DidX Grants. So look, it's only been a week, but rumors abound, and they've got the Goblin community frothing at the mouth. Now, this is pure, unadulterated conjecture, but there are rumblings that the Goblins might have been cooked up in a secret lab in Yuga Land. That's right. And as for the evidence, well, this eagle-eyed community member spotted a quite uncanny resemblance between this undoxed Goblin founder and this doxed Yuga Labs team member, right down to the dog and the glasses. Columbo, eat your heart out. And it's got the people wondering, is the undoxed Goblin team actually a supergroup of NFT power players? For one thing, this Goblin bears a striking resemblance to Steve Aoki and was actually sold for 26 ETH to the Sandbox game last week. Why? That does make it the most expensive sell so.
Is this like a way for them to like give everybody they like an NFT and then these people sell it? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That'd be pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? I want to make my own NFT collection. Like, well, I mean, I do have my own NFT collection. I just need to work on posting stuff to it. But I mostly just want to like, I want to make tools for NFT. That's kind of what I want to do. I've been working a lot with the Rarible protocol. I love it. I know I'm stopping the lovely video, but I think the Rarible protocol is probably one of the best networks to probably be working on, or projects to be working with. Like, you are into it, like you can make projects on all these networks. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? The only thing is, I'm upset that if I go here, contract addresses, there is none for you know, mainnet for
so far. Meanwhile, this spliff-smoking geezer was spotted donning similar headwear to the Don himself, the D-O-double-G. Could Mr. Medici himself be pulling the strings? Oh, so many questions. And on the subject of headwear, let's take off our tinfoil hats. No, this is a beret. I'm keeping it on for a moment, because the most compelling case for the Yuga Labs connection comes from page 86 of its famously leaked pitch deck, where it appears to account 1% of its future 2022 revenue stream for goblins. Best of all, as we know, Yuga Labs can neither confirm nor deny this because they never actually acknowledge the authenticity of the leaked deck itself, adding even more fuel to a hype fire that's seen the floor prices rocket from 0 ETH, because it was free, to...
So based off pure speculation, this is not even, they are basing the value of these profile pictures. Sorry to be screwing. They're basing the value of these profile pictures off pure speculation that they were created by Yuga Labs. Now, let me tell you what, Yuga Labs has recently, they, released the other side, a version of the metaverse that they are creating. I have an article or two that I would like to pull up and read over after this, talking about the other side, because I've been following the Defiant and they have really good information. I'm gonna have to make if I don't play any games today, And I'm gonna have to watch some of their longer formatted videos, or at least watch them in my own time. Take notes over the parts and the timestamps that I do enjoy, so that I can go back and reference them and talk to you about them. Because this channel right here, if you're not watching the Defiant, oh my goodness, you're lacking. This guy right here is this team, they are great. I don't know what else to say about them. They are by far like my favorite group to watch about crypto. Even though I could say I probably don't look at a lot of individuals, but like this team right here caught my eye, and I don't really. I feel like I'm satisfied. I'm satiated. You know, I'm the hunger is filled when I watch these videos. So, but these PFPs are based on pure speculation that they were created by Yuga Labs, or someone in Yuga Labs, right? By the fact that some of the profile pictures within the free collection look like individuals who are main, you know, like either founders or main investors or just main influencers within the group. And the fact that, you know, Yuga Labs just created the other side, it would be cool to see that they made this free to mint, you know, project, allow anyone to kind of get in here, just as long as they were seeing it, to get it some additional wealth. I kind of wish I would have got in on that, put some money in on this, because I could have potentially had like a couple super, you know, expensive goblin for some reason, but who cares really, right? But I think it's pretty neat, but at the same time, I don't think people should be, you know, buying into these goblins unless you got it on the free mint, because you think that potentially they were owned by Yuga Labs, and because someone may or may not have, you know, created their own image or infographic saying that they were part of the Yuga Labs budget of revenue, like that 1%. But yeah.
To around 8 ETH today in just a matter of days. And let's be honest here, goblins on that deck was just an old name for what has now become coders. So let's let that Yuga one go like an old piece of ham, yeah? Yummy. But the success of Goblin Town NFTs goes well beyond Labs, or whoever or may not be behind it. The point is, these goblins have captured the public imagination and absolutely nailed the zeitgeist of the time. The name alone couldn't be better or more timely. 2 weeks after the Terra fiasco, against the backdrop of looming global recession and monetary tightening, the crypto space is finally coming to terms with the possibility of a sustained and bloody bear market, the long and winding road to Goblin Town. This is crypto nihilism at its most poignant and pertinent, and who am I kidding? When a thing is a thing, it's just a thing, isn't it? But seriously, is this just a happy case of impeccable timing? Or has the team been biding its time, quietly waiting for the perfect moment for their grand debut? As Zero Learn points out, this is absolutely a team that knows what they're doing. And yes, this really does feel too well coordinated to be a fluke. The website is just very, very good. In fact, it's brilliant. Shades of Lemmings as the little goblins climb up and then fall down. And while the overall aesthetic might have echoes of Ren and Stimpy, there's a
after he posts that, it does give Ren and Stimpy vibes.
Level of craftsmanship here that stands toe-to-toe with some of the most iconic collections around. So much so, NFT Twitter has been forensically analyzing the line thickness of these avatars to prove Yuga Labs' involvement. And if I cast my mind back to when Bored Ape...
Are you serious? So they're trying to say that they had the same artist due to like the pins and stuff that they made for it?
Apes launched. The same feeling, the same idea of capturing a moment, capturing an idea. It seems reflected here. Not to say that there is a connection, but I get why people feel the connection. Just strip away all the BS and let's just have a thing that's a thing and enjoy that. But above all, these goblins have positioned themselves to stand apart from the crowd in a truly unique way, in a market saturated with bog-standard 10K collections offering a roadmap leading nowhere, or a game that isn't a game, it's just some vision that some kid had while he was high and eating Doritos and whatever kids do these days. Utilities that fizzle out into obscurity. This so-called anti-NFT collection is doing things its own way.
Yeah, I don't think you should create a PFP project and be like, this is all we're gonna do with it. It should just solely be like, this is the profile pictures we made. You can have them for free. This is the NFT for it. And if you sell it, royalties just come to me. That's at least how I would do a PFP project. Like, I don't know how to, I cannot, like, I don't feel like I can be like, this profile picture is 1 ETH. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't feel good about, I mean, I guess I do sell mine online, but like if I'm making a 10K project, realistically, I'm just gonna make it for free and then let y'all value it. I wish I could make the NFTs like 0 on Rarible. That way I could just list it and then someone could just, all they have to do is pay gas and then they want to sell it. I get royalties. That's like all I care about.
Props to Goblin Town for showing us that NFTs are supposed to be fun.
Yeah, they are supposed to be fun. They're not supposed to be serious.
As a message for everyone there. Maybe we should get it printed on a t-shirt, because that's the point, right? It is fun. It is irreverent. It's keeping it real. And of course, shrouded in intrigue and mystery. Which, let's be honest, in the NFT space is a pretty deadly combination. And hell, you know, it's even taken NFT culture to new heights by introducing its own dialect and translation service. Check it out. In Goblin, which translated means, hello, my name is Robin, and I wish I bought some goblins. Even major brands are jumping on the bandwagon, with the likes of Bud Light pandering to the goblin community in the hopes of shitting them, some of them minging piss water, which, if you know that goblins piss everywhere, well, it's kind of apt. Piss in, piss out, you get the picture.
What?
The point is, if successful NFT collections are built on community, then Goblin Town is absolutely smashing it. So what's next? Well, already the community is excitedly awaiting the so-called McGoblin Burger airdrop. And nobody has the faintest idea what the hell it might mean. But again, nobody cares. Whatever it is, they want it, and it was free, so yeah. And when a project has promised you absolutely nothing, well then why the hell not? You cannot be disappointed. And that really seems to be the current trend in NFT land these days. Just today on Twitter, I came across #FreeMint as trending. The newest addition to the free mint trend comes from Sybil. 5K supply, free mint, oh, but here's the kicker. And you get 0.01 ETH for minting. So it's not only free, but you get paid to mint. You get paid to mint. How desperate are they? Within a span of 48 hours, For the Culture took off, gathering 60,000 followers on Twitter and around 80,000 on Discord. And the art, wait for it. It's gonna be good, right? It's gonna be so good for the culture.
Low effort.
Hey. This hero we do not deserve is prepared to pay 91 grand just for the pleasure of secondary royalties. How on earth are any of us supposed to explain this to anyone outside of crypto? Nate Chastain just got done for wire fraud, and we're gobbling up snot-faced art atrocities. Yep, that's us. Now, some of this does remind me of the launch of Wi-Fi, how Andre Cronje just launched that token onto the market, fair launch, and it really captured the imagination of people to say there is a different way to do things. The VC model, the greed model, throw that out the door and let's do something different. Is that what we have here? Well, I don't know. Either way, the team, whoever they are, has already pocketed a call, and we must insert the number here because it's changing daily, and by the time we publish it will be different, so let's just put the number in there. It's many millions. It was about 2.9 million today. It's definitely going to be over 3 tomorrow. Think about that! 3 million in secondary sales. They gave them away for 3. Mustard. So the 7% cut that they take on OpenSea and LooksRare contributes to all of that, but they also held on to 10% of the original 10,000 because, as they say, why not? And sure, listen, I'm just speculating here, but the ingenuity of this campaign so far does leave you thinking, Do these goblins have something up their sleeves?
Maybe.
Giancarlo makes a fair point too. With all this hype, it could be just a matter of time before some A-listers jump on the bandwagon, triggering a full-blown goblin bonanza. And for all those who hate the apes and think they're fugly, well, celebrities picked up apes, maybe they'll pick up goblins too. Is this a future blue chip in the making? It's too soon to say. In this space though, nothing is off the table. Maybe this is Yuga Labs. Maybe it's Zero X Sifu's last hurrah. Or maybe the team gets doxxed and we end up with a Milady-like situation, triggering a sudden sell-off that sees Goblin Town live up to its name in the truest sense of the word. Either way, there's no denying that what they've done it's impressive. Free to mint, no utilities, no roadmap, no promises, and just when you thought you understood the rules of the game, somebody comes along and changes it completely. But as I've already said, this was the Andre Cronje playbook. You love to see it, we love to see it. This, from the depths of wherever the fuck we have been, was the Defiant.
All right, that was great. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I really like how the goblins just kind of, made a free NFT and how everyone thinks like, oh yeah, maybe they're made by Yuga Labs without any proof. It's great. Makes me want to create an NFT project and just be like, no utility. If you buy it, you buy it. You don't, you don't. No one cares. Because that's how it really should be. Like, all it really is just data. And I mean, like, people value, like, we already sell our data to companies, you know what I'm saying? You put a YouTube video up, they big they big profit enough that they put it on their feature page and get people to come down to the show, to this website, you know what I'm saying? And you only getting the small pennies of whatever you got. So I like the concept. Just free NFTs. That's how it should all be. I was gonna watch this, but I don't really know. But let's do it.
I was a correction officer at Rikers Island for 2 years. Rikers Island is an island with 9 jails that house inmates awaiting trial. There's been multiple occasions when I've been touring and an inmate will pull his penis out, will masturbate. They would set fires.
Well, I don't know if I can watch this on Twitch. I might be able to, but it's wild.
In their cell. You can be walking doing your tour and all of a sudden urine or feces is thrown at you. The inmates are in there for murder, rape, domestic violence, burglary, robbery. It's just an island filled with gangs that are constantly trying to kill each other. Almost all of them had weapons, knives or sharp objects. Officers would be assaulted daily. It can range from a broken nose to a broken eye socket, broken bones, broken ribs. There's no limit to what these inmates would do to you. We are at a time where the inmates are running the prison. There is definitely officers accepting bribes.
Whoa. Whoa. That's no good.
I was hired to provide custody, care, and control of the inmates. The system has definitely failed everyone involved. The inmates, the officers, everyone involved is suffering.
How would you bribe, like, how would someone bribe a, like, guard? Like, would it be like someone on the outside is like, yo, we pay you to make sure that this guy can do whatever?
60 people quit in one day. Your captains?
What? 60 people quit in one day? Oh my goodness. Like, I don't know. That's probably why the private prison industry, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I don't think prison really is the answer. Like, if we actually try to reform individuals, then they wouldn't be like held up in these. There's probably layers to why people are in the situations they are in, but man, this is crazy.
Side with the inmate before they would side with you. They're worried about that publicity because they're trying to keep certain things under wraps. Drugs is very rampant. There's K2, fentanyl, marijuana, any drug basically you could think of, they probably have it. The value of any drug in jail is worth much.
How are they getting this in jail? Like people, I mean, obviously there's probably ways for it to get into the jails, but like, what the heck?
More than it would be worth on the outside, maybe like 5 times more.
Oh, I
There
believe
was
that.
definitely officers accepting bribes. Not only officers, but civilians bring it in as well. The people who are in
What?
charge of programs, doctors,
Oh my
nurses.
gosh.
During the pandemic, visits were suspended, so they weren't getting them through visits. Some of them are scared.
Wait, what? So pretty much this is the whole. Oh my gosh.
Some of them do it for the money. On Rikers, the alcohol is called hooch.
Okay.
And what they would
Yeah.
do is save their fruits and they would
Hooch? I feel like isn't that what college kids drink? They make some weird drink, or is that not what it's called? Maybe I'm wrong. But damn, what the heck?
ferment the fruit. They would mix it with hot water and sugar.
Okay.
And they would let it sit there. And then they would get drunk. They would become very touchy-feely. Then they would become aggressive. And then they would start fighting each other, start arguing. It would just lead to disaster.
What you're telling me is you get some hot water and sugar and some fruit. You let it sit in there for a minute, and you get alcohol.
I remember the first time that an inmate masturbated in
man.
front of me.
What the
I was
heck?
feeding them through the feeding slot. Once you open their slot to put their tray, they would like put their penis in the slot. I screamed, and the other officers on the floor was like, "What happened?" And I was like, "He's masturbating." And they were like, "Oh, he does that to everyone." Like it
So
was just
dismissive.
normal.
So
I
dismissive.
felt
That's not.
violated.
It's
I
not
felt
good, yo.
disrespected. I felt scared. I remember being scared to do my tours. There was
Yeah, I
a
would be
time
too.
in the building that I worked where an inmate got into the A station where a female officer was. He was
What?
able to rip her duty belt off, rip her pants off. Thankfully, an officer came, was able to come and help her. He was being held for rape. I believe his intentions were to rape her.
Oh my
They
gosh.
suggested that we wear Spanx underneath our uniform for just in case. It shouldn't be a just in case. Am I going to go to work today and is my belt going to be ripped off? Some of the inmates are used to the pepper spray, so it does nothing to them. And then there's others that threaten you. If you do use your spray, I'm going to cut you. You're in a position like, do I spray and get cut? Or what do I do?
What
There's some
the
of your
heck is
captains are there
going
just
on
to
in prisons, bro?
tear you down. If you report something or you get into an incident, they want to know, what did you do wrong? What did you not do to prevent it? You're more likely to end up in jail being a correction officer than you would as a civilian on the street. Suicide attempts on Rikers.
Did she just say you're more likely to end up in jail as a correction officer over a civilian? That is crazy. I wonder what these people are having to do to be like what are the rules? Oh my gosh. The whole system is messed up.
Are pretty common. It breaks my heart. They are humans and they do have families that love them and are waiting for them to come home. It's just sad. Typically, there are about 50 inmates to one officer. The job was so draining that I would literally come from work and sleep until my next shift the next morning.
Oh my
Then the
gosh.
pandemic hit. And that's when I actually started getting stuck. That's 16 hours back to back. My coworker called me from the jail. She's like, I'm on 24 hours and they won't let me leave. And they're saying if I walk off the post, I'm gonna get suspended. You're on
Holy
post for 24 hours and then a fight breaks out and they expect you to do everything right on no sleep.
They're working in some harsh conditions, man. Like, damn.
You're supposed to still do your duties to the best of your ability. I have seen female officers terminated.
We need to work on having less people in prison. I think that is what we need to focus on.
for having relationships with the inmates. There has been incidents where officers have been impregnated by inmates. Once you start a relationship with an inmate, or once you say yes to them once, you can't say no because you're locked in. You're trapped at that point. I didn't have a coping method.
I mean, I guess you kind of would be, but I mean, like, do they form a relationship with them because, like what, like, man, what's going on in these prisons now? These people need help. The correction officers need backup. These prisoners need therapy. Everybody needs help. Damn it, everybody. Oh my gosh. This is more stressful than trying to play Beyond Two Souls, man. Trying to play these dang scary games, Elden Ring, a boss, all this, man. What the heck?
I had chest pain. I've had colleagues died from heart attacks.
What?
I remember thinking, I'm 21 and I'm gonna have a heart attack. I hit rock bottom. I actually tried to quit like 3 times. You know, they would always convince me to stay in the fight.
It's toxic.
I remember getting to a point where I was like, I can't do this anymore. Just give me the paper to sign and I'm done. I remember still feeling that chest pain for probably up to 5 months after I quit, until it went away.
Oh my goodness.
Right after me, hundreds of people were quitting. If I can talk to an officer that was looking to join corrections, I would tell them, don't do it. It's not worth your quality of life. It's not worth your mental health. And until there is some sort of structure and safety, you shouldn't even consider it.
Oh my gosh. That sounds horrible, man. I mean, that is horrible, but damn. Like, oh my god. I feel bad for all of them. Man. Why are we all messed up as people, bro? What's wrong with humans? Like, I just watched that Crow video, and they were like, all mammals with intelligence like to be angry and dominate each other and flex for no reason. And the birds, they're just like, how about we hang out with each other and we raise each other and we help each other and we survive. Like, we're not like that at all, bro. Like, wow, this right here is just sickening. Like, why are we putting like I understand people are criminals and like they have to like pay for what they've done. I guess that's what we want. We want justice for the actions that what they've done. But like, what does putting them in an environment like this and then having people who, like, you have these correction officers who have to be in the same situation as them, but like can't, can't leave, can't get away. Like, you all trap them, they're prisoners just as much as the actual prisoners, and then like that's not good for their mental health, for one, like at all. Like that, like, my goodness, man. I remember I was watching that chapter, and there was like this lady lost her husband, and then like she was a correction officer as well, and then like was just spent like after, instead of grieving, like spent all her time just like working in the jail. And then eventually that she was the one that like, I think she like formed the relationship with that recently where she like ran off with that guy and they try to escape. And I mean that was just crazy, man. Like, oh my gosh, I feel bad for like everyone, because like, one, they don't like, they should pay for what they did or serve their time, I guess, but like actually help these people, like I feel like putting them in a box and being like, here's your lunch, like, I guess, yeah, absolutely, we don't want them to have freedom. They need absolute security so that they can like gain structure. But like, do we actually teach coping mechanisms to the individuals that are in the jail, or are we just kind of like letting them sit there, and then like everyone's trauma affects everyone else, and just allow that to compound and create more issues within that system? And then like you have people who aren't used to this type of life, and are just wanting to make sure that they're trying to serve society the best way they thought they should, and then you lock you lock them in this prison as well, and then their mental health suffers because, like, man. All right, let's do something happier. Y'all want to watch some let's watch pizza stuff, man. Like, let's watch some stuff on pizza. Like, I think this right here will make us happier. Okay. Ooh, we're gonna watch Detroit style pizza with a Japanese twist. Cause I think this will be good. Let's watch this guy.
The reason why we went with Detroit style pizza, honestly, is because I'm not good at stretching dough. And there you have it, America.
Ah. The truth comes out.
Hi, I'm Katsuya Fukushima from Washington, D.C. I'm the chef and owner of Tonari Restaurant.
What's up, Katsuya Fukushima? Wait, is that his name?
America.
What
From Washington,
Yeah,
D.C. I'm the chef and
Katsuya
owner of
Fukushima.
Tonari
Yeah,
Restaurant. And today
my
we're
man.
making Wafu Detroit style pizza with
Wafu Detroit
mentai.
style pizza.
Okay, so we're starting with the dough. We have bread flour.
Okay.
We're dumping right into the bowl. Obviously, with this recipe, you could use AP. At the restaurant at Tonari, we use Hokkaido flour. It's very special. When you eat it, it's super light and has this beautiful chew to it, like almost like a mochi. I don't know.
Hey.
I guess you got to come down to DC and try it. Come.
mochi.
Salt, sugar, yeast. You don't have to bloom it. All you do is just add it to the dry ingredients. Give this a nice little stir, just to incorporate everything nicely. Feels nice. We're gonna add the rice oil, and we use rice oil because it's just a staple of Japan. It has a nice flavor. Pop this back in. We'll use a dough hook. Then we're gonna just add the water. It's a very wet dough, and it creates a nice crust, and it's very fluffy. All right, crank this up.
Man, this is making me hungry. Watch it.
And you can just set it on medium and let it go for about 8 minutes. It'll come together. Now it's pulling off the edges. And you just want to work the glutens. It's come together. Everything's out of the bowl. This is good. It's
Boom, that's some good looking dough right there.
very bouncy. So this dough is based on Detroit style pizza. Very wet. And the only difference between this dough and Detroit style pizza is the fact that we use rice oil. We
Okay.
use this very special pan. It's a Detroit
I wonder what rice oil tastes like. Cause like, I know I've used like olive oil and I've used coconut oil. I've never used rice oil. I wonder how it cooks.
pizza pan. It's blue steel. So this pan is very iconic in Detroit. It came from car workers where they put the tools and nuts and bolts, loose things in this pan. Someone said, let's make a pizza and let's use these blue steel pans that we store our shit in. But if you want to make a Detroit style pizza, definitely use these. So you want to divide this into like 3 equal parts. There you go. Pull these in
Okay.
towards the center.
Now this right here reminds me over the weekend. So I went home this weekend and I went to hang out with my mom. We had to put some flowers on the fam's graves. You know, you gotta respect your elders. Respect the elders, or they will bring shame upon you. Respect the elders, or they bring shame upon you, and you must respect that. You know what I'm saying? When the ancestors are happy, you know your future is happy because you know you're doing them good. Anyways, I learned how to make biscuits with my mom, and that's what this right here reminds me of, folding the dough inward. Now I'll let you know now, them biscuits, they good now. They good. They the best. I'm thinking about making some tamari.
The bread is key. I think it's probably the most important part of the pizza. I just love Detroit style pizza.
Okay.
So here, rice bran oil. Get the bottom.
Hey, what kind of oil is he using? I'm gonna get that.
It's an important part of the pizza. I just love Detroit style pizza. So here, rice bran oil.
Alright, wait, what is that? Can we like bloom? Nope, can't make that bigger. Ah, man. I'm gonna have to look that
At
up.
the bottom.
Rice bran oil. I'll look
At
it
the
up.
top. We're gonna throw this in the refrigerator for 3 days.
Okay.
And we'll see in a little bit.
You already have one made, right?
Now we got our pizza dough that's been sitting for 3 days. Look at that, nice and proofed. Pick this up gently. What I like to do is flip it on the other side just to get the other side coated. I try to be very gentle with it because it's just a very delicate thing. All right, so we're gonna stretch it out to the corners.
Okay.
Work your fingertips and push out from the center out to the corners. It's okay if it doesn't reach completely to the corners because we're gonna let it proof another 2 hours. Our plastic wrap, cover it up. There you go. Let that proof for 2 hours. Meanwhile, we're gonna make our corn sauce. We have this
Corn sauce?
delicious
What do we got?
canned corn.
Okay.
The reason we use canned corn is because canned corn is harvested and processed at the peak of its existence. It's beautiful, yellow. I'm sure it's sweet and delicious. We're gonna strain it, reserving the juices.
I did not know that canned corn was canned at the peak of its existence. Now that I know that, canned corn, I guess. Canned corn, if you're dealing with corn, canned corn.
We're gonna save that. We're gonna put the corn all in there. The reserve liquid. Blend this guy up. All right. So we got the corn straining. We just strain it because we're fancy and we want to get all the casing out, make it more refined, make it nice and silky. So waffle pizza doesn't really exist. Waffle is basically
Waffle pizza doesn't really exist, and what are we eating here? What are you making here?
Japanese styles. Wagyu is wa for Japanese, and gyu means cow. So Wagyu is basically Japanese style beef. We're
Okay.
trying to bring waffle pizza, create it, and bring it to America. That's what we're trying to do. The Japanese are good at taking what's out there and making it better. Sorry.
Hey.
Turn the heat on. We're gonna season with a touch of salt. We want to reduce this down to a corn sauce, which is gonna replace the
Y'all say they TV shows, they everything, anime, that's what say. I was watching the Spider-Verse, right? I watched the English dub and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I saw the Japanese dub for the Spider-Verse intro and I said, damn it, I waste my 2 hours. I should have done watched this one here, boy. That shit was flame. The voice actors are supreme. That's why I watch sub over dub every time on the anime.
tomato sauce. Now we're gonna break down the brick cheese. So brick cheese. Detroit style pizza isn't Detroit style pizza if you don't use brick cheese. And the reason they call it brick is because it usually comes in a brick form. Brick cheese is comparable to
would've
maybe if Monterey Jack and mozzarella had a baby. It's high in fat, it melts nicely. When the cheese melts over the pizza and the oils creep down the sides and goes underneath the dough, that oil helps crisp up the bottom of the pizza dough. I think we only need 10 ounces.
So if I make a pizza, I need brick cheese. Brick cheese. Forget that mozzarella, that provolone, that jack. We need that brick.
This is for one pizza, that's plenty. Cheese. Look at that, that is a beautiful yellow. If you looked up yellow in the dictionary, this would be it. All right, now we're gonna turn it down and we're gonna let it go. We're gonna go to our finishing sauce, which is labneh. It's gonna give a nice zing to the pizza. It's gonna be a great combination with this beautiful egg mayo from Japan. So this is
Yeah, I was gonna say it looked like mayo. Well, unless that is different. He has two different. Oh, I guess that is egg mayo, and then he added that lava.
probably my favorite mayo besides Hellman's and Duke's. I guess I just love mayonnaise. I do, I love mayonnaise. Look at that. To this, we're gonna add some mentaiko. So mentaiko is cod roe. You can see that the roe is still in the sack. They salt it, and then they have togarashi, which is Japanese chili. Let's peel the sack away and squeeze it. You could buy the ones already out of the sack, but this is better. This is the really
Fresher. Probably way fresher to get the roe that's still like in the sack thing.
good stuff.
Probably not exposed to like the elements as much, you know?
Let's put a little bit more, right? Let's put a little bit more. Yum, 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 yum. All right, give this a little whisk. This is waffle right here. Down to the fridge. Oh, look at this sauce. That's like Tweety yellow. Super
It is.
smooth. Oh, this is just perfect. We're gonna chill this, and once it's chilled, we're gonna build our pizza. We got this dough that's been sitting out for 2 hours. Look at that, that's nicely risen.
Rose.
It's filled in the corners. We're gonna bring this brick cheese. And the key here is building it from the edges in. So you wanna be generous in laying the cheese up against the corners, up against the edges. It's gonna melt. It's gonna fall down between the grooves of the dough and the pan. The oils are gonna creep down, get underneath the dough, and it's gonna basically sear the bottom like a grilled cheese. We're gonna put the sauce on top, just like a Detroit-style pizza, where the sauce goes on after the cheese. I'm gonna give a nice little dollop here and there. Corn, sprinkle it around. That's a beautiful color. So, boom, we got this, and we're gonna throw it in the oven. The best spot for it actually is the bottom rack, because you're getting direct contact, the hot metal, with the bottom of this pizza pan. Ooh. Oh, it's so light. All right, so pizza's out of the oven. We've allowed the pizza to cool slightly, so now it should come away from the edges. There you go. There you go.
Hey, man.
Don't be alarmed if it looks dark. It's not burnt. It's actually where we want to be.
Yeah, that looks crispy.
We're gonna give it a nice cut. Oh, little chive action. Don't be shy. Corn and chives are friends. And oh, look at that. There you go.
That looks good now.
Boom. This is our waffle pizza. We're gonna bring waffle pizza to the world and take over. You're gonna love it. I love it. You're gonna love it. Yum. Yum. It's the best pizza I've ever had. It's light,
Your own
fluffy,
pizza is the
airy.
best pizza you'll eat.
You got the crispy bottom. It's just good stuff. For the recipe, click below. Come see me at Tenari Restaurant. Thank you so much.
All right. Oh, hold on, let's watch this.
Anything else you want to say?
Nope.
All right, well then now what we need you to do is show me how you break dance.
Hey. Hey. Let them know.
Oh, yeah, love it.
That looks good, man. That was fresh. Hey. I know some of y'all out there love good eats. Sorry, I'm shouting, but man, if you're hungry, come check out Detroit style pizza with the Japanese twist on Munchies by Katsuya Fukushima. He's the owner of Tenari in Washington D.C. They got the recipe down here somewhere. Let me see. Yeah, recipe here. Some advice articles here. I'll go ahead and pull that up. You know what I'm saying? We got the recipe. Put that in chat in case some of y'all are hungry. Boom, there you go. Take that. Now, if y'all want to go, I'll put the video in chat too. So those that are watching on Twitch, y'all can come back. Y'all can see that. I should probably do that more often. Link the videos. But here you go, man. That looked pretty good now. I like that. I like that. That made me a little hungry, you know? Made me a little hungry. I do say I'm going to have to try that out. They most definitely get a like from me, and I'm going to have to get some food, you see. All right. Man, that looked really good. Especially, I like that he breakdanced at the end, too. He was very good at explaining that. All right, our next video, we're going to watch what it's like to see sound. I would always wonder what it would be like to see sound, and now they have a video on what it is like to see sound. So, let's take the time and watch this. Because, hey, why not?
I see every sound I hear.
Okay.
When a person speaks to me, there is a ticker tape under their chin. I see numbers and letters and color. My synesthesia is like being in a sandstorm, where I am pelted by sensation. For most of us, it's a gift.
Synesthesia.
Synesthesia is where at least two sets of nerves turn on simultaneously. It is involuntary, where one person might just hear sound. In my case, I hear it and see it simultaneously. It's important that people understand that this is not mental illness. This is wiring.
Okay.
I was 57.
Does anyone in this chat have synesthesia? Do you see sounds, or do you like taste colors or feel sound or something? I don't know.
When I realized that I was a synesthete, and I couldn't be happier that I am a synesthete now that I know what it is.
Okay.
They can tell that different parts of the brain turn on for synesthetes than turn on for people who are not synesthetes.
Okay. What kinds are there? I want to know.
I believe that the studies have shown that there are between 70 and 80 identifiable kinds of synesthesia. I have 13 different flavors of synesthesia. Chromesthesia is my real universe. The sound to color. I see every sound I hear. I literally see my footfalls as I walk across the floor, the sound of my refrigerator. It's like these little skinny waterfall of blue and silver. I see the sound of the coffee pot. There's this lovely little red that's in the air.
What's music like?
The highest pitches for me are silver and magenta.
That'd be crazy. I wonder if everyone has a level of synesthesia, we're just not aware of it.
And it goes down to the drums or the lower pitches, which are these dark brown. I mean, I've listened to all kinds of music, but I particularly like jazz, and I love electronic music. Now electronic music is much more textured, way more interesting. It's just like eating a feast every time I hear it. Like to talk about it right now, it makes my mouth water just thinking about it.
Do you think that's why like people feel music sometimes? Like it could be like some people have like synesthesia, because I know some people don't necessarily like feel music when they listen to it, but it's like say you listen to a song and then like you just got, you just like feel it inside your soul. You know what I'm saying? Like I listen to music and I'll be like, man, that one hits. And then sometimes I listen to music, I'm like, bro, it ain't resonate at all. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
I love LCD, Actress, Flying Lotus, Autiker, Fleet Foxes. I love the tribal nature of a Yeasayer. Rammstein. So one of the first pieces I did was based on Dust. I like metal in small doses. It's like I never liked the Beatles because their voices were always harmonically boring.
Yeah.
My most favorite sound is the sound of my husband's voice. It makes me think of vanilla ice cream.
That's so sweet.
I have grapheme synesthesia, which means that I see all letters and numbers in color. B's and D's are both brown, but they're different colors of brown. Apparently among synesthetes, very often A is red. My A is red. I was able to memorize long poems when I was young because I could see all the words. Numbers live in a visual universe. A 0 is really like ice cube. It's like see-through. 8 is boring violet. 9 is blood red with little black speckles in it. 2s are yellow and young, and 9s are personalities of take no prisoners.
I wish I could see the world as she sees it. That'd be crazy. What are the downsides to the synesthesia?
I didn't have a self-story as a child that allowed me to embrace my unique qualities. It was because I talked about music or sounds in terms, and nobody ever called me on it and said, what do you mean it's in color? If someone had asked me and I explained it, then I would have really felt weird when they went to say, no, nobody in the whole world sees the world like that. If you said that to me, I'd say, you didn't do your homework. Go look it up.
I feel like a lot of artists have great artists have synesthesia. Like they just literally see the world differently, you know? That's crazy. Again, can anyone here see sound? I would like to I would like to see that. See what like this video sounding like. All right. What's something that works? Rules as written but shouldn't. Rules as intended, number 2. Let's watch this.
Hey everyone, it's your favorite narrator and voice actor from Ohio, Brian Von VA. Back at it again, checking in just before we get started.
Oh yeah, sorry. If you I think that's one of the first times I watched this guy. If you like D&D, watch Mr. Ripper. They are pretty cool. They have some awesome work. They do like D&D questions like, hey, what's your favorite story? Da, da, da. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll be like, what is your worst session 0 story type deal? Like to get experiences from other people and then just like make little videos. Excuse me, off of that. Pretty nice.
Reminding you to go ahead and leave a comment down below saying, hey, hello, telling us how you're doing and giving us a story or two relevant to today's video, or maybe not. It depends on what you feel like today. That being said, let's dive right into what's something that works rules as written, but probably shouldn't be rules as intended, part 2. Apparently, you can defeat a Tarask with a single CR9 clay golem. Now, I don't believe this. Someone responded.
How is that? A Tarask is like a CR30, it's like a cataclysm event. Like if you came across a Tarask, I'm pretty sure, you know, the world would be ended, you know what I'm saying? Where it would be.
This asking for a breakdown, and the original poster was kind enough to give them one, which is good because everybody here at Mr. Ripper also wanted one too. Okay. A Tarask is a behemoth of a monster but lacks in magical attacks. I, for one, didn't know this. Straight bludgeoning and slashing damage for this big guy. Uniquely, clay golems are immune to non-magical bludgeoning and slashing damage. So pound and slash as he likes, he won't get anywhere. I hear you saying, oh, but the Tarask would just eat the golem after a while and the acid would get him. Okay, he might. However, the problem with that is clay golems actually heal.
Okay, that someone really looked into this to see what
from acid damage. Whoa. So in reality, the Tarask has no way of damaging it at all. Therefore, the lowly clay golem, with enough time, luck that the Tarask doesn't run away, and unadulterated chutzpah, can fell the mighty beast. That's a really interesting breakdown, and I love it. A 2-weapon fighter with extra attack can attack with a light weapon in his main hand, which triggers the bonus action offhand attack.
Wait, what?
Attack with the offhand weapon, drop both weapons if they weren't thrown, which doesn't cost any action, use their free object interaction to draw a maul, and make any extra attacks with it. Add the thrown weapon fighting style into the mix, and you can do this every round by dropping your huge weapon and either picking it back up or drawing another one. Finally, a build that actually uses multiple fighting styles at the same time. If you add dual wielder feat, so you can use nets and tridents while doing so, and you can become quite the gladiator.
That's pretty cool. Some people spend a lot of time learning about the rules of D&D so they can come in and just flex on a dungeon master.
Artificer being able to take spell rot tattoo as an infusion.
Okay.
Potions and scrolls are both prohibited, but the feature doesn't outright ban consumables as a whole. So you're fully able to make spell rot tattoos of any first level spells in the game. This is really good and also definitely 100% not intended. There are 4 conditions in D&D that cause you to auto-fail strength and dexterity saves: paralyzed, petrified, stunned, and unconscious.
Okay.
There is no condition that causes you to auto-fail Constitution, Intelligence, Wisdom, or Charisma saves. This boggles my mind because if you are unconscious, how can you make a save against something that requires you to be conscious to know it's even happening, since the unconscious condition explicitly states that the creature is unaware of its surroundings? In my honest opinion, an unconscious creature should auto-fail all saves except Charisma saves against charms.
That would make sense, but couldn't you say that, like, if it's like a wisdom save, maybe it's like someone's trying to override the senses, and because like even though like you yourself is not aware, your brain is still like your subconscious and still has faculties of its own. Like it's like just because you're unconscious does not mean your brain's off. So like couldn't your or wouldn't your brain or your since it operates your senses be like, nah, bro, we're not doing that, not overriding what we talking about? Because that's a lot what like perception a lot of these are. I mean, charisma mostly is just like how you look and present yourself as. So I don't know.
Which they should automatically succeed because they can't possibly be charmed if they're unconscious.
True.
Yeah, if you're unconscious, you have no conscious ability to protect yourself at all, and you cannot be charmed because what's the point of charming a corpse? Unless you're doing some sort of marionette type thing, which would be kind of cool.
But I mean, like, if you're just because you're unconscious, you still have like your subconscious that always act. Like when you're asleep, you still have your subconscious, and it would be kind of like, to me, it would kind of be like when they're asleep and Inception. Just because they're asleep, the mind still has like defenses where it's like, whoa, this is weird. Nah, we're not doing that, bro. You are obviously trying to do stuff in my brain. We're going to go ahead and cancel what you're doing, and we're going to keep on living our life.
But, I digress. By raw, you know which 5-foot square every creature in the world or universe occupies unless they have taken the hide action just by using your other senses. Now, this is clearly ridiculous.
Wait, what is going? Let me go back. Okay.
By raw, you know which 5-foot square every creature in the world or universe occupies unless they have taken the hide action just by using your other senses. Now, this is clearly ridiculous, but since they gave us abilities like keen hearing and keen smelling, but don't give us ranges on them, we have to just guess how far away someone we can't see needs to get before we no longer know their location.
That is true. Because if a creature does have keen hearing and keen smelling, it does not give them a cap on how far that they can hear or smell, but it does give them a cap on how far they can see, which is interesting.
Yay.
So do you normally just roll to see, like, I guess you could roll to be like, I want to see if I can hear someone from across the planet, because you could roll a d20 and I guess you could in theory hear it since it doesn't have a cap. But if you wanted to see, you have like sight limits.
Do you want to stabilize someone? Rules.
That'd be pretty cool to use.
As written, you don't need to see an unconscious person, interact with them, or even be on the same plane of existence.
Wait, what? Want to stabilize someone? Rules as written. You don't need to see an unconscious person, interact with them, or even be in the same plane of existence. As long as you are aware that a creature falls to 0 points, you may use an action to make a medication
As long as you
check.
are aware that a creature falls to 0 hit points, you may use an action to make a medicine check, DC 10, to stabilize them. Combine that with the healer feat and a stock of healer's kits, you have a sniper medic that can hold actions from an inaccessible, distant, or hidden location and instantly snipe heal any allies that drop to 0. The healer's kit skips the check and auto-succeeds, and because of the healer's feat, instead of becoming stable and unconscious, they regain a hit point.
That is crazy. I wonder if they're gonna go in and like add caps to that, but it's probably up to the DM to judge this.
Disciple of Life increases the amount of
Or like, you would use common sense to be like, you're not there, so how can you do something that you cannot see? But then again, the rules doesn't say you need to be in range of an individual to be able to heal them. It's just that you need to know that you just need to know that it's possible.
healing done by a healing spell cast by a life domain cleric by 2, plus the level of the spell. At level 6, Blessed Healer gives a life domain cleric additional HP when they cast a healing spell that heals a creature other than themselves equal to 2, plus the spell's level. Therefore, dun 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 dun, with a base level Mass Healing Word or Mass Cure Wounds, if they include themselves in the cast, the life cleric gets the amount of healing they roll plus 5 of 7 from Disciple of Life, just like everyone else in the cast. But they also get an additional 5 or 7 HP from Blessed Healer because they cast a healing spell that included someone other than themselves.
Okay.
This is why life domain clerics are the best healers.
Yeah,
they can overpower their own healing for free while still healing the party.
that is really overpowered.
It's also the only reason my life domain cleric has survived in the campaign she's in.
Because you just have everyone stand around you and heal. I feel like that's just someone who like is playing their character how it needs to be played, instead of someone just being like, I'm gonna be a thief and then I'm gonna cast fireball, and you're like, bro, you really trying.
Intimidation works off charisma, so
Okay.
at level 1, a sorcerer is better at intimidation than a Tarask or a dragon turtle.
Yeah.
If both you and your opponent are heavily obscured in complete darkness without dark vision or some other form of blindness, you attack each other normally.
You would almost think intimidation would need to be based off strength almost, because you'd be like, bruh, but I guess not.
This works because while you have disadvantage attacking someone you can't see, it gets cancelled out by having advantage against an opponent who can't see you. FYI, at my table, I rule this as both combatants having disadvantage, assuming neither is particularly well versed in blind combat.
Okay.
You can't stack advantage or disadvantage, no matter how utterly terrible your situation might be. Blinded, restrained, poisoned, prone, your dog ran away, your cat's up a tree, your house is on fire, and the toilet's flooding. Whatever it may be, a single tiny bit of help counters it all. And the same in reverse.
Yeah.
Since magic missiles targets multiple creatures, you only make 1 damage roll for the D4.
So that means if your homie has disadvantage in the D&D campaign, just help him out. Ask if you can help him out, because that will normally get rid of the disadvantage.
This means
Or
that
give them
apply
advantage.
X bonus damage to 1 damage roll effects can be applied. Look at the Evocation Wizard's 10th level feature, for example. They get to add their intelligence modifier to all their magic missile bolts, since it's technically 1 die roll. Turns a level 1 spell into about 20 damage guaranteed, with even more damage as an upcast. And we did the math on this down here at the Mr. Ripper channel. The minimum damage you could do with a 9th level magic missile cast by an Evocation Wizard with 20 intelligence is 77. Roll a 4 on the D4 and that goes up to a max of 110.
Oh, man.
I mean, that's nice, but not worth a 9th level spell slot if you ask any one of us.
Yeah, but you can just one-shot somebody.
Using
Yeah,
the disengage action to move closer to an enemy.
well, almost.
I feel like it's meant to be used to run away, but it can be used offensively too. Cheesing Leomund's tiny hut by using it as an invincible barrier for you to pop out of, attack, then pop back in, except the caster. Dual-wielding Lancer Bugbear on horseback. 3d12 every turn at level 5. 15-foot range, plus the full speed of your mount. It seems a bit absurd.
Yeah, they were really forcing it.
Damphia Fangs as the conduit for smites.
Okay.
Divine Bite! Tankier characters can easily survive a terminal velocity fall.
What do you mean by that? Higher AC?
Warlock's Repelling Blast doesn't state a size limit, so you're capable of pushing even a gargantuan creature back 30 feet.
Okay.
This really makes no sense, since that somehow means smaller creatures aren't taking extra damage from being hit with enough force to push an ancient dragon back 30 feet. Also, here's the classic one.
Maybe it, you know, adapts to the size of the creature. You know, it doesn't need to emit as much force if it's smaller.
Make an infinite army of simulacrums by making a simulacrum. Then you take a long rest to get your slot back, and while you're resting, have the simulacrum cast simulacrum on you. This makes a new simulacrum that casts simulacrum on you. This process repeats until you have an army sizable enough for your liking. Also, since simulacrum copies everything about you at the time of casting, this includes divination, wizards, portents. Literally, how many times have we said that word in that entire story? I am scared and terrified. Tiny hut having a floor. This is one of those annoying things that was clarified on Twitter that, yes, it does have a floor, despite being described as a dome that goes around and above, but not below, in the player's handbook. And now it's screwed up and is the ultimate cheese fest.
I bet.
At least, if it were an actual dome with no ground, the DM had more fun options, such as burrowing monsters and whatnot.
That's a floor. Now you can't do anything, you just hop in there.
The Friends cantrip has a range of self and states that you can use it on one creature of your choice with no further restrictions.
Yeah.
That means you can make any creature anywhere, even on other planes, hostile to you without a save. It doesn't make sense to be able to counterspell someone counterspelling you, because then you're casting two spells simultaneously.
True.
Since counterspell says you interrupt someone's casting of a spell, it feels weird to interrupt your casting of your own spell to cast a spell to stop someone else from interrupting the casting of your spell. Like, balance and whatnot be damned, I just think it's weird in my headspace.
I mean, but just because you're countering a spell, it wouldn't be able to counter all spells. So if you're using a counter spell to counter I hit the thing, counter the spell that you're currently coming in contact with, then you would think that it would only work for that spell and not for the actual counter spell, since they probably have different different properties.
Could you imagine? It's like a tennis match between two counterspellers. No, counterspell to you. Counterspell. Counterspell. Ha! You triggered my trap card. Blue eyes, white counterspell. I kind of like it, now that I think about it. If you have 24 strength or the ability to jump 10 feet high, you can knock yourself unconscious by high jumping.
Huh.
A snake can go prone to give ranged attacks disadvantage. A horse has a better chance of climbing a tree or a rope than the average commoner.
Yeah.
A halfling can grapple someone in front of them with one hand and someone behind them with the other. Both grappled characters would then be 10 feet apart from each other, but still linked by a single halfling.
Huh?
Well, I mean, you know, if the halflings stretch Armstrong, that might kind of work.
That's crazy.
A hasted rogue can use their hasted action to attack, which allows them to bonus action attack, and then use their regular action to ready an attack with the trigger being their turn ending. Since rogues can sneak attack once per turn on reactions and your readied action uses your reaction, this gives them a reliable way to roll those sweet D6s twice around without relying on enemies proccing attacks of opportunity. I wouldn't allow it RAI because how is a character supposed to know when exactly their turn ends? You can knock a purple worm prone. Also, even
if a snake can go prone, then why wouldn't a gigantic creature be able to go prone?
gargantuan creatures being knocked prone causes disadvantage on attacks from more than 5 feet away, even if they're the size of a mountain like the Zaratan.
How does that make sense, though? Because it wouldn't be like...
Hey, everybody, it's Brian Von VA. Hey, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and to ring that bell to get notified. That being said, if you have a story you'd like to tell us that's relevant to today's video, or just a story in general, you can do so on r/and. And if you're wondering, I've had Mr. Ripper, I finally found my day a lot better. You've made my life a lot better.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop here. Yeah, this is by Mr. Ripper. They make a lot of these little text to speech little videos where they like go over their stories and ask very D&D questions about what happened. I really do enjoy them. They're pretty fun. Um, I think I'm gonna play a little V Rising. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Play a little V Rising. See how my base is doing. I probably didn't I forgot to I don't know how long I've been on there. It's been a minute. I've been playing too many games. I know that they're trying to update some things. I'm gonna see if my castle's still here. If it's not, then rip. Did the game crash? You're needing sleep? Dude, I'm needing sleep too, man. I'm getting tired again. If you need a nap, go nap. All right, you have a good day. Thank you for tuning in. You have a good nap. I'm gonna be on for a little bit longer, but I'm just checking my V Rising house. I might watch some other videos. I might not. I'm a little tired myself. No, my house. Oh, you're good. What up, Freed? What up, Daryl? Oh yeah, I only had you go for like 2 hours because I was just memeing around. So I was like, you can do more in 5 hours. I like left this whole thing open. It's like I do not care. I only got 3 days. Play on a small server. We out here for 8 days. like the game. I don't know. There's something about survival. I thought it was fun. Okay, my house is good. I don't have time to play this. I was gonna watch this, but I really don't care about these videos. Ooh, I want to see this actually.
This case is being televised, right?
I am aware that there are cameras.
And so this gets you your 15 minutes of fame, doesn't
Objection, Your Honor. Argumentative.
Well, it seems like Morgan Tremaine,
It was
the
a little
ex-TMZ
argumentative.
employee who accused Elaine of seeking fame by being Amber's counsel, did not lie. Right after the verdict, she was seen in a couple of shows claiming that Amber was wrongly judged. She was up in the Today Show claiming
Yeah, Lane was on a lot of stuff, man. Talking about all this shit. I'm gonna watch a couple videos about this. Actually.
social media destroyed Amber's case and that the jury watched what was going on social media, even when they had been warned not to, and used what they saw as a leverage to a verdict. We know Amber's team were the one who would watch social media and try to correct their statements. Elaine thinks we forgot when she had insisted that Amber had used the Milani correcting kit every single day as she lived with Johnny because he used to abuse her. But when Milani Cosmetics posted a TikTok claiming that they had launched the said kit in 2017,
oof.
Amber went on the stand to retrace their lies and said that she used a correcting kit similar to that one, but not that one exactly, claiming that the jury was at fault isn't going to help Amber if she's going to appeal and get a trial with a jury. So Elaine is foolishly destroying their chances of getting positive feedback from another jury. Also the fact that she also blamed the judge, who I have to say was one of the most fair people bringing back our faith in the judicial system, was kinda rude for Elaine. Elaine was the first person to thank the judge.
Yeah, it is crazy.
For doing such a good job after the trial was over, and now she is the first to claim the judge didn't do her job right. Shame on her. She kept insisting that Johnny being a celebrity was what affected the case, when we all know that Amber is also a celebrity and all her lies catching up to her was what blew her case. This woman claimed Johnny banged a plastic phone on the walls until it was all splintered, and that is how he had cut his own finger. But she still claims he also took a cigarette and burned it to his own face. She
He took a cigarette and burned his own face.
claimed he sexually assaulted her with a broken bottle and dragged her feet and hands over broken glass, but apparently she was still okay and never went to hospital. A couple of weeks later, she was seen dancing ballet with the same feet that were cut with numerous broken glass. She claims that since Johnny was her abuser, she was super terrified of him, but in a couple of audios played in court, we could clearly hear her taunting him. No one who is afraid of their abuser would still taunt them because that would mean they would beat them up. She claimed that Johnny would follow her and assault her, but we've clearly heard from the both of them that whenever there would be an argument between them, Johnny would split, meaning he would run from the argument and hide in either the toilets or bedrooms. This used to anger Amber because she wanted him to man up and stay and fight her. How could this person Amber is referring to as a coward also be the same one pushing her up against walls? She claims that the first and only time
So what does this have to do with Elaine?
she ever hit Johnny was when he pushed her sister Whitney downstairs, and all Amber could think about is how he had pushed his ex Kate.
It's like clickbait. All right, let me find something about Elaine. What is this? Yeah, we're gonna get off you. Yeah, I'm gonna watch this.
Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer.
All right, right now, hold on. Let's start this. We watching Bruce Rivers. He's the criminal lawyer. He's a G. Let's watch this guy. What he has to say is, can Amber Heard appeal the verdict? Will she win on appeal? Criminal lawyer breaks it down. Let's see what this guy's about.
Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer.
Okay.
Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. And what he do? And it's gonna react to all the self-snitching.
He gonna react to all the self-snitching. Y'all hear that? Stop yourself snitching. And Bruce Rivers is gonna react to it.
Hi, this is Bruce Rivers. Welcome to another
Look at the hat. Hold on, let me move it. Let me move it. Stop self-snitching on the
episode
hat.
of Criminal Lawyer
Stop
Reacts.
self-snitching
I'm Bruce
on the
Rivers,
hat.
Board certified
Board certified criminal
defense lawyers.
Defense lawyer. And
like I said before, I don't just hold your hand. I don't write passports to the prison system. I actually go to trial and win.
Okay.
Here's the thing. Now, today we're reacting to what's next. A step for Amber Heard would be to appeal the judgment. And she's indicated that she's going to appeal. And here's how this works. You can't just all of a sudden, get an award and then just appeal as a matter of course. Well, you can, but she has to put up a bond.
So she's gonna have to have some money. She's gonna have to put up a bond. I mean, she's gonna have to put up some money. So either way, she's gonna have to pay something to be able to appeal. And right now, she doesn't have any money. Elaine came out and told us this. Like, no one asked. Everyone wanted to know. Like, every one of us wanted to know if Amber was going to be able to pay. Which that, like, I don't know, man. $50 million, that was going to look steep. And like 10 million, apparently Elaine said she don't have that to pay Johnny. So like, I wonder how this bond is going to work out. Like, is some organization going to front her the money in hopes that she'll pay them back after they right the wrong that she's undergone? They believe she's undergone, or what? Like, for me, when I was watching this, I believe both of them partook in some levels of abuse. So I wonder how, because like he was yelling a little bit, but I don't know. I'm just wondering, like, the thought process, I guess, behind appealing now and trying to overturn the judgment in the court of appeal, because like a lot of the information that was on there, it was pretty damning. I remember when I was watching this, I came in on the whole heard that it allegedly someone pooped on the bed. I didn't know who pooped on the bed, so I had to tune in and see what was going on. And when I figured out more and more of the story, it didn't look too good. I didn't really care about either person, because I like Johnny Depp. He did, you know what I'm saying? He did Pirates of the Caribbean, but like, that's about it. Don't really, no real emotional ties to him, you know what I'm saying? So like, when I was watching this, I was trying to figure out what the heck was going on here. And the more I learned, the more I was concerned.
A bond in the amount of the judgment plus attorney's fees. And that's going to be a very significant bond. And I'm not sure if her homeowner's insurance would do that for her or not. I doubt it. But it'd be.
Did you say homeowner's insurance would pay that bond? Is that how she's going through this case here? Homeowner's insurance?
Very expensive, because in this case it'd be what would it be? Like a $8 million verdict, basically. Yeah, it'd be $8.3 million. So you remember? Let's just kind of recap what happened.
Okay.
They had the trial, and Amber Heard was awarded $2 million in damages.
Yep.
Johnny Depp was awarded $15 million in damages.
Yep.
In Virginia, the cap on punitive damages, which in his case was $5 million, is reduced down to $350,000. So his ultimate judgment is $10,350,000.
Big money.
That's reduced by what she was awarded, $2 million. So it's $8.3 million basically.
Okay.
So that is what's appealable. Now, I don't know that. I mean, in all reality, I don't think it's smart to appeal. Let's say she won the appeal.
Right. So what
and
happens?
Let's say they had to retry this.
So she wins the appeal and they have to retry it.
I don't know that her insurance company will indemnify her again for another $6 million.
So this case was $6 million that they just went through. So the $7 million that Johnny gave her to pay for the charities that she did not do, pocketed pretty much, allegedly. Well, not allegedly at this point. Proof, because they said she pledged it and pay it, that is not a good look. So she paid the $6 million on that because that's why she tried to say that she couldn't pay the charities because she had to use it on the being sued. So she would pay that $6 million to not pay, and then use her insurance to appeal and not pay 8.3 million, and then have to retry this and potentially pay another 6 million or more, because to retry it, wouldn't they need to get the same new witnesses? But by then, like, how would they try this if it was with a jury? Because like right now, I feel like we all know what happened. Like we all know what happened, and I don't think many people are in her favor right now, unless like some new information comes to light in season 3.
For all this, because she's probably capped out on her coverage. Let's just kind of break this down a little bit. What is an appeal? An appeal is, basically you're telling a court of appeals, look at what happened at the trial level and fix the mistakes that happened. Okay. Now, various things can happen on appeal. They could appeal the judgment, you do appeal the judgment, but you could appeal the award, the amount of money that was awarded, saying it was unjust. It's a little like appealing the sentence, or you can appeal the actual judgment itself, saying that it was an unfair trial.
Okay.
And let's say the Court of Appeals reverses the judgment and orders a new trial, which they're not going to do in a case like this. But let's say they did it. Where does that leave Amber Heard? That leaves Amber Heard right at square one, facing this trial all over again. And my understanding is that
if she did the trial over again, where would they have it at,
Homeowners covered the Travelers, because Travelers had somebody in the courtroom, and they covered her legal expenses.
Okay.
Now, those aren't unlimited. You have a cap of what they will actually cover, and I don't know what her cap is, but suffice it to say that does she really want just a new trial all over again? And how hard is Johnny Depp really going to go after her to collect the judgment?
True.
I bet he doesn't go hard on her at all to collect this judgment. But so what can you appeal? You can appeal mistakes that the judge made. And you can kind of tell by looking at Elaine's interviews that she did with the Today Show and CBS. And so let's look at some of that, and it gives you kind of some insight as to what they believe she's going to appeal.
Well, knowing
they're really going to try to appeal and prove that the jury was watching social media. I think that's really what they're trying to do.
the case and knowing the law as you certainly do, it favors defendants like Amber Heard. Are you stunned that the jury essentially rejected her story?
Well, really what happened here is it's a tale of two trials. Johnny Depp brought a suit in the UK for the same case, and the burden of proof was easier for him there. The son had to actually prove that it was true, and the court found there we had an enormous amount of evidence that was suppressed in this case that was in the UK case against Amber. So what did Depp's team learn from this? Demonize Amber and suppress the evidence. We had an enormous amount of evidence that was suppressed in this case.
I don't want to be like this, but to me she sounds like Trump whenever he's like, we have so much of something, and then like whenever they were talking about the walls, like the walls, they're gonna be so big, so great, but then like you get to it and it ain't even a thing, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, bro.
that was.
So she just said they've had an enormous amount of evidence that was suppressed in this case. That's an evidentiary ruling that and that would be something the Court of Appeals would look at. However, when you look at the evidence that was suppressed, you have to look at whether or not, number one, that would make a difference. If you allowed that evidence, would that have made a difference to the jury, number one? Number two, you also have to look at whether the judge abused her own discretion. Did the judge abuse any kind of discretion she has? Because the judge has an abundance of discretion when it comes to making evidentiary rulings. You got to stay within the rules, but those evidentiary rulings are something that the judge has a really broad discretion.
In the UK case, when it came in, Amber won, Mr. Depp lost.
But here's the thing.
So she's talking about the UK case, which is a totally different case. It's a totally different set of laws. You've got one finder of fact, and that's the judge in that case.
Okay.
And Amber was not a party in that case. They couldn't cross-examine. Well, they did a deposition of Amber in that case, but it wasn't so detailed because she didn't testify in that trial.
Okay.
Here's the thing. You were able to get some evidence that you say demonstrated abuse.
So it's not even comparable. Like, they're not even the same thing.
You certainly had her testimony. There were
Apples and oranges.
pictures, documents, all kinds of evidence. But in point of fact, the jury rejected it.
That's an excellent point. Here's the thing. The judge was pretty liberal in what she allowed both sides to present when it came to abuse. I don't think she was hamstrung at all.
You argued in your closing arguments that if they found even one instance of abuse, and it did not even have to be physical abuse, that they would have to find for Amber Heard, and they didn't.
Yeah, that's the thing. They were like, they gave them any out to vote for Amber. Like if you find at any level, at any point during any of this was Amber abused, then Amber wins. You know what I'm saying? Like at any level. So that meant anything qualified. Verbal abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse, any of it. Spiritual abuse, any of it. You know what I'm saying? Like any form, spatial abuse, I don't know, some time abuse, something like anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Like anything, any harm that Johnny could have done to her, and they didn't agree with any of the evidence at all. I mean, for me, I think the photographer wizard that Johnny Depp's team placed out there. Now, when he had those demonstratives, you know, the little presentations, and he had the two photos and just smacked them on top of each other. That's all I say. I was like, damn. They ain't looking too good, homie.
And that's an excellent point. So really, when it comes time for this appeal, you look at what the decisions that the judge made. That's really what it comes down to. Or you can look at some other things, juror misconduct, for example. If they find out that one of the jurors was paid off, or if one of the jurors was looking at social media or doing something inappropriate that they shouldn't have been doing that had a direct impact on the trial, that could be a grounds for appeal. But here's the thing. What does the Court of Appeals look at? What is the remedy for the Court of Appeals? The Court of Appeals just says, okay, yeah, that was unfair, but it wouldn't have had an impact on the ultimate decision of the jury, so it was harmless error. That's one thing that the Court of Appeals could say. The Court of Appeals could also say, you know what, that was really unfair, and you violated the rules of evidence, judge, and so we're going to let this go back because it was not harmless error, and we're going to order a new trial. The Court of Appeals could do that. Mm-hmm. Or the Court of Appeals could just look at the end result at the judgment and reduce the award if that's what if they argue that successfully. I don't think any of these things are likely. I think the most likely thing to happen is for this to be errors to be harmless errors, and they're going to uphold this verdict. That is my best guess.
How is she today? What is her next move?
She's right. Well, her next move is appeal.
Amber Heard's lawyer says she's ready to fight back following Johnny Depp's victory in his defamation trial against her.
Would Johnny Depp's team have a right to rebuttal their appeal? Because dude, get Camille Vasquez back out
Do you
there.
find that Mr. Depp has
Ooh,
proven all
boy.
the elements of defamation? Answer, yes.
Elaine Bredhoff told CBS Mornings that Heard has plans to appeal after the jury decided the actor was in fact defamed by her, awarding him $15 million in both punitive and compensatory damages.
That $5 million that they put on there for punitive. Oh man, I bet she was hurting.
And one of the first things that she said when she came back from the verdict, when we went into the conference room, was, "I am so sorry to all these women."
She said that?
Yeah.
When I hear that, I almost feel like he's like, really?
Yes, she felt like she had let down all of these women because she had more evidence than most people do, and yet they still didn't believe her.
She had more evidence than most people do. The Court of Appeals, if she does appeal to the Court of Appeals, she'll know that. I mean, she did. I mean, the judge was very equal on both sides and let both sides present whatever the heck they wanted.
Yeah, because they were producing a lot of evidence. To me, it was more that they wasted a lot of time. Like, I remember when they would like recount the time between Elaine and like Ben's teams. Like, Elaine's side always had less time. Like, they used up all their time almost. It was like, I remember at one point it was like 8 hours versus 18 hours or something dumb like that. And I'm like, how do you counter this in that time? Like, man, like that was hard.
It's a sentiment
Like trying to play the game going uphill, and backwards.
the actress echoed following the verdict in a statement she posted on Instagram, calling out her disappointment and feeling heartbroken. Quote, "The mountain of evidence still was not enough to stand up to the disproportionate power, influence, and sway of my ex-husband."
Okay. The thing about it is they're so flippin' tone deaf. This Elaine, come on. I mean, you won't see her again on another news program because what she is doing is not only hurting herself, and her reputation, it's hurting her client.
Yeah.
Because, and quite honestly, going on these programs, I think she's opening herself up to, number one, a defamation suit again, by talking about Johnny Depp as an abuser. One jury's already awarded $15 million, so it could happen against Elaine.
That would be crazy if she kept doing that. And I wondered why Elaine was on the news right after this, talking about Amber and all this jazz. You would almost think it'd be a PR person or someone, I don't know. I just don't feel like it was good for her to be on there. Just she was just telling everybody Amber's business, man. I was like, dang, you shouldn't tell us that she ain't got the 10 mil, bro. Don't tell us that. Don't tell us that, bro. That'll look good now. I don't know.
The next thing, and then Amber, the mountain of evidence still was not enough to stand up to the disproportionate power, influence, and sway of my ex-husband. How about the fact that everything you said was fucking bullshit? How about they had witness after witness after witness to contradict everything you said, and you had almost nobody except for your sister to back your bullshit up?
I'm even more disappointed with what this verdict means for other women. It is a setback. It sets back the clock to a time when a woman who spoke up and spoke out could be publicly shamed and humiliated. It sets back the idea that violence against women is to be taken seriously.
Absolutely, it's supposed to be taken seriously.
I agree.
So is somebody's word. So is your word is your bond.
Amen. Hold on. I fucks with the Bruce Rivers guy, man. My great granddad used to say, "Your word is your bond." He used to say that all the time. Now this right here, he's a good man. This is a good man right here. I'll tell you that. Now, he about to say some truths, I'll tell you. Now, that's what I'm saying. Now that's just here. I ain't got nothing to say.
She's bankrupted her bond.
Yeah.
It really belies the fact that she has not told the truth in court.
Has Mr. Depp proven by a greater weight of the evidence that question, the statement was made or published by Ms. Heard? Answer, yes.
Bredhoff says that evidence was suppressed during the 6-week trial held in Virginia, compared to a 2020 libel lawsuit against the UK's Sun newspaper, a case Depp lost.
So, in the UK case, it is a completely set of laws that are different from the US. You have one finder of fact, which is the judge, which and to have a judge rule in your favor on something, it's very difficult. If you have a difficult, complicated case, to have a judge as the fact finder.
And she believes in this most recent case, Depp's celebrity played a major role in the jury's decision.
But the other problem is we had cameras in the courtroom. So here we had not.
I don't think the cameras had anything to do with it, Like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't think the cameras had anything to do with it. They just, like, all they did was change the public opinion of the situation, because if there were no cameras, then the only thing we would have to go by are the headlines that are being presented by mainstream media now. But the fact that literally like everybody was able to watch it and see for themselves what was going on, a lot of us were able to come, you know what I'm saying? Like we were able to watch the facts and see the data ourselves and come to a conclusion. And it's like, not only did the jurors come to the conclusion that, this was BS, the facts, the evidence was BS. Like, the pictures, man, like, old boy said they was all in the Photoshop. And the fact that they emitted two photos, one photo 2 times saying they were different when they were actually the same picture, but one was Photoshop. Like, that just doesn't look good in court or to the people. Like, regardless. Like, if I don't know, man. Like, if I'm, like, because, like, for Elaine, she's over here saying, like, if you can find, like, one level of abuse, then you have to go for Amber. But it's, like, all at the same time, like, if you can find that one bit of information or one fact in this case was a lie, then you have to think about whatever else was also falsified. Like, I'm sure both of them lie at the same time, but it's like, not, I mean, I don't think they both lied, but it's like, they may said things in a way that was favorable. Everyone says things that are in a favorable manner to themselves, but it's like, if you have it where like the evidence that's emitted is just like verifiably false, then it's rough. And then when you in court say you're the one who wrote the op-ed about Johnny, that's tough. You said it in your testimony that you did this about Johnny. And that's what the case was about. Like, the whole point of this case was to say that you defamed him in an article, and then you're trying to argue that you did not defame him. You didn't even mention him by name. But then in the same court, like, you're trying to say that all this stuff was true, but then say that I wrote this article. You literally said, like, I wrote this article about him. Then, like, well, you lose that point, because now you can't say that you didn't write about this individual because you just outed yourself, for writing it. Plus, like, all the like you said, the witnesses just counterspelled a lot of what that was said as their witnesses, and like, it was just crazy, man. Like, for me, the best way I looked at this was like, Amber and Johnny were in a Magic the Gathering duel, and then like, Johnny's deck was a little bit better. Just a little. He went to the card shop a little bit more.
Not only did we have a group of Depp fans that were there every day, 100 were allowed in. They lined up at 1 o'clock in the morning for their wristbands to be in that courtroom. But we had everything on camera, and we had tremendous social media.
Yeah, but you can cut both ways. That can cut both ways. And do you remember my very first video? My very first video on this topic. Where did I come down on this? I mean, I heard him talking about drugs, and I thought, oh my God, this is not going to be good for him. Why is he doing this? But as it played out, he became a very charming and likable guy, and she turned out to be kind of a vixen, kind of a liar. She didn't come off as sympathetic.
Yeah, and that's the thing, man. You got to be able to relate to the jurors, and he just told his story as it is, as it was. And a lot of people felt that Amber was embellishing a lot of the points in the story, especially with the whole Kate Moss story. Because didn't he say he told her the story and then she like switched it up? But I don't know. I do know. I think that's pretty much what he said. I don't know. I could be wrong. I could have misheard what he said, but I'm pretty sure he said he told her the story.
And so Elaine's comments are just
not the truth, opposite of the fact.
Tone deaf.
Oh, tone deaf. Oh, okay. That's the word we're going. It's tone deaf. I agree. It's tone deaf.
Much against Amber.
It was pointed out that that was the first time that a victim of sexual abuse had to testify on live television.
Yeah, that was the first time. And I think it was really good data to see how it would turn out. Because, like, I know did the Bill Cosby, that didn't go through court at all. We just saw headlines of that. And then I don't know.
And I fought hard and lost that battle. It should not have happened.
Well, I think Bruce Rivers was saying, like, if one party wants it, then they want it. And I think the judge wanted the cameras in there so that people could have this documented, because it was a very complex case. And I believe the cameras were good because it allowed for transparency into the situation. So that way, neither party could blame the court, for wrongdoing. Because Johnny and or Amber, like, I guess how Amber is now, saying that the court was biased and, like, lied pretty much, that since we were all able to watch it and see it for ourselves, that we can see that that's not the case, And I think it was really good to have the cameras in there. Personally, I would like cameras in all court proceedings so that way we can truly see some of the injustices that are taking place in our court system, so that way they can be wrong. Because if the public doesn't know what's going on in these systems unless you go down there, then
Bredhoff says the jurors' verdict.
If a tree falls in the woods, does it make a sound? Yes or no? Kind of deal. Like, yeah, something bad happened, but like no one knows because no one was there type deal.
Verdict sends a message to all domestic abuse victims.
Amber had an enormous.
But here's the long and short of it. The case is won. Court of Appeals will not disturb a jury's verdict. They won't invade the province of the jury unless there is a serious error that would have affected the outcome of the trial.
Okay.
That's really what it comes down to. And so this is my prediction. She'll appeal, but it's going to go away. I mean, the case is won. And this is what Johnny Depp wanted all along. He didn't want necessarily to get millions of dollars from Amber Heard. He wanted to be able to tell his story, and he's won his case. And he's won his case in the court of public opinion. So we'll see what happens with this, but Elaine needs to just go take a little vacation and shut the fuck up. I mean, I hate to say that so harshly, but she's bordering on unethical behavior when she's bad-mouthing Johnny Depp and she said it wasn't fair, and it was fair. It was fair. We all know it was fair. So we'll see you next time here on Criminal Lawyer Reacts. This is Bruce Rivers. just kind of talking a little bit about Amber Heard and her chances at appeal. I think the damage is done. She should move on. I bet you Johnny Depp doesn't even try to collect. So this is Bruce Rivers. We'll see you next time here on Criminal Lawyer Reacts. Remember to subscribe, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, sign up for Patreon. We're doing some pretty good work there. And we'll see you next time. Spread the word. Stop self-snitching. Bruce Rivers, Criminal Lawyer Reacts. We'll see you next time.
All right, yeah, this is Bruce Rivers, man. He's the GOAT. This guy is pretty cool, man. I'm gonna subscribe to you on that. You say your word is your bond. I'm gonna subscribe to that. That was pretty fresh for me, man. I was like, dang, I didn't expect you to hit me with all that. Yeah, this guy was great. He had some really good words about it. I do kind of want to watch the Legal Bites. Okay. What else we got on here? What we got on here? We got any cool thing on the home? What the fuck? What is Trevor Noah going through on his channel? Do I have anything fun I want to watch? What time is it? I've been streaming for 3 hours today. I started a little late. Wait, what?
Could Joe Biden cause a nuclear war?
Hold on, we watching Could Joe Biden cause a nuclear war with Russia by Meet Kevin. This guy normally talks about stocks and everything like that, but I believe he got multiple channels now. I know he switched off. He said he's doing like Meet Kevin Live, Meet Crypto. Yeah, I'm doing the Meet Crypto, Meet Kevin Report. Yeah, Meet Tech. I'm subscribing to all these. I like Meet Kevin. He's a cool guy. Go ahead and do the same. He's a great guy. He talks about some good stuff. He's a family man. If you born in the 1990s, about our era, he played World of Warcraft. He's Horde. You know what I'm saying? Loktar.
War. Hey everyone, Meet Kevin here. So there are few things scarier than a nuclear war, especially since a nuclear explosion on a battlefield in one place could send radioactive fallout to Europe or even our homes with dangerous and cancerous levels of radiation. A piece by The Economist this weekend didn't make me any happier about this. Now, this is not a slam on Joe.
Bro, can we like not have this old man in president?
Joe Biden. It's a critical look at the crisis of Putin and the burden that Putin is putting on the rest of the world.
Can we stop electing these old ass people as presidents and government officials that don't understand what's going on with the technology or with the people? Like, this guy don't even know who Young Thug is, and he over here talking about gun reform. I'm like, bro, you need to learn what's going on with the people. It ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like, you need to set laws that represent what we need. And right now, we need better health care and education and better housing, damn it. We need better infrastructure. We need to worry about here. Flint, Michigan, ain't Flint, Michigan still got shitty water? Oh, Biden, you over here talking about cancel all student debt. Boy, actually come here. We need to actually fix the infrastructure. But then again, maybe that's what the state's government should be doing. I don't know. Maybe, you know, we can get money from some elsewhere else.
The United States, and of course, our president.
Marijuana.
Now first, it's worth noting that the world has generally agreed to limit the growth of nuclear weapons. This is done through the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty
that we made after we made a shit ton of nukes.
That was first signed in 1970 and extended indefinitely in 1995. It declares that there are 5 nuclear states, the US, UK, Russia, France, and China.
So we the big ballers?
And then others who have essentially become nuclear states by having weapons and testing them, like India, Pakistan, North Korea, and Israel, who are, again, openly testing weapons. However, Vladimir Putin's invasion of Ukraine has upset the balance of just these countries focusing on nuclear weapons. See, not only does Putin regularly threaten NATO and the United States and Ukraine with nuclear action to sort of leverage negotiating.
Why would he nuke? Is he just like, if I can't have my way, no one can. Time for a temper tantrum.
Clout. He ends up succeeding by using these threats in limiting U.S. action, and by succeeding using nuclear threats, Putin really upsets the nuclear balance throughout the world. For example, when the United States wanted to send air support to Ukraine by providing them with Polish-made MiG-29 fighter jets, Putin lashed out, threatened nuclear action. What did the United States under President Biden do? It backtracked.
Like, could we not protect ourselves from a nuke? Like, is that what they telling me right now? Because, like, I don't feel safe.
And
I mean, why can't we just stop the nuke and just be like, fuck you, bro, get out of Ukraine?
Did not provide jets.
See, this is why I'm not a government official. I'd be like, nah, bro, I'm gonna call you bluff. We sending planes over there. Stop whatever you're doing. And they'd be like, and I'll be like, oh, I gotta revert the save. I can't do that.
When Biden suggested sending missiles to, or missile defenses to the war frontier in eastern Ukraine with the power to strike deep into Russia, Biden gave up as soon as Putin freaked out and said this would be the beginning of nuclear war, providing Ukraine with weapons that could strike deep within Russia. Now Biden...
But you're striking deep within the Ukraine.
...will only provide missiles if Ukraine promises to use them defensively. Now, many are suggesting that this...
How do you use missiles offensively? They shoot you, then you shoot the missiles at the missiles, or if they shoot missiles at you, you shoot them back.
...makes Biden weak. That if Trump were president, we'd have a much stronger posture and we'd stand up to Russia more.
Wouldn't he, like, let this happen?
Maybe. But then the question is, well, would Putin have invaded in the first place? Or if Putin did invade and a stronger counter posture attacked Putin back, like maybe a stronger personality like Trump attacked Putin back, could that literally just push us into an immediate nuclear conflict? Nobody will ever know what a stronger posture against Putin would have ended up leading to, because these are, of course, just hypotheticals. But let's consider the danger that we have right now of Putin's nuclear threats. Number one, Putin is upsetting the nuclear world order. The more he saber rattles with nukes, and the more he actually gets concessions because he's saber rattling with nukes, the more he encourages two things, both of which are bad. Number one, as he essentially encourages non-armed nuclear countries to pick up arms.
Yeah, because, like, what we're pretty much encouraging is, like, well, if you want to defy the United States, well, like, you need to get a nuke, so that way, if you want to do something, you can just be like, well, if you don't want to do that, bro, maybe I'll shoot a nuke. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we just nuke about it, you know? And we don't want any of that because we saw what happened to Japan. But, like, man, it's very stressful.
Consider South Korea and Japan, who rely on defense from the United States. They may no longer trust the United States' commitment if they see weakness by the United States in Ukraine.
Yeah, because if we can't protect Ukraine because Russia gonna be like, nuke, what happens when, like, China starts being like, hey, let me just take some of y'all stuff, and North Korea too, because North Korea does have nukes. You know what I'm saying?
Instead,
well, they were testing them.
They might consider to just add their own nuclear arsenals and become their own powers following Putin's incursion. This means more countries with nukes, which is not good for nuclear non-proliferation. In fact, that is literally the opposite. It is nuclear proliferation, or the adding of nuclear weapons. But this isn't just bad for those countries without arms who might decide to pick them up. It's also bad for those who have arms or the capabilities of producing arms. Consider the fact that Iran has now enriched 20 times as much nuclear and weapons-grade uranium, and they have enough now to make their first bomb from when they first agreed under the Obama administration not to enrich uranium to the levels of being able to create a bomb. North Korea has plenty of warheads, Pakistan is adding warheads, and China is modernizing and expanding its nuclear forces, which also then begs the question of Taiwanese threats and what's going to happen between China and Taiwan.
Yeah, we need to figure out what's going. We all need to come together in kumbaya.
Can China just invade Taiwan, claiming that, well, it's basically Chinese already anyway, and if anybody has anything to say about it, well, we've got nukes.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking is going to happen.
Because after all, that negotiation style worked for Putin, so why would it not work for China? See,
Facts.
Putin has weakened non-proliferation worldwide, and it is dangerous and sad. One battlefield nuke used by Putin in a conventional battle could ultimately lead to a nuclear retaliation at city levels by other countries or even NATO, depending on, of course, what kind of fallout there is, but still bad precedents across the board.
True.
Consider also then the fact that Saudi Arabia and Turkey could easily join expanded nuclear ambitions, and all of a sudden the world is a much more nuclear place and a much more dangerous place with a lot of very dangerous saber rattling. We could have the style of a global Cold War, like what we had between the United States and the Soviet Union.
That'd be rough.
Especially since
Oh
someone
my
like Putin,
gosh.
who in 1994 agreed via the Budapest Memorandum on Security Assurances not to even use force against Ukraine, but then flagrantly violated that anyway when he illegally annexed Crimea, and then of course when he invaded in 2022.
Yeah.
In the total
Why even sign something? Because you're just going to do it anyway.
counter to these agreements made. It shows that there's little downside to making an agreement and then just not following it if the world isn't actually going to respond. But of course, how do we move forward now? Now, before we move forward and get to the conclusion as to whether or not we think Biden could cause nuclear war, let's give a quick shout out to our sponsor for today's video. But first,
We're going to skip his upstart.
it's powerful and alien dead back in your information. Check your so that's lash out with nuclear weapons. If Ukraine doesn't defeat Putin, the war could drag on, leading to more of a global famine, especially in developing countries like Africa and the Middle East, like Egypt, countries who rely on grain exports from Ukraine and Russia.
Okay.
And if Putin doesn't lose, a precedent of using nuclear weapons or threatening to use them has now been set. Therefore, Putin's war is a lose-lose for nuclear weapons and makes nuclear conflict much more likely in the future. So, could Joe Biden cause a nuclear war? Maybe not directly.
Man, if homie created a nuclear war, that ain't going to be a good look for old boy. It already ain't a good look right now. I know he was talking about the other day about banning like all pistols or something like that. I was like, oh Lordy, Lord, don't talk about that. You gonna mess yourself up already. Alrighty. What happens? It is 6:30. No, 6:30. It's 10:30 for me. It's a Monday. I thank you all for tuning in. I've reacted to a few of these videos. Yes. Hold on. I kind of want to watch this, but I probably will just watch it at my own time or save it for Wednesday. I'll make a little playlist for us to watch together. I'll probably have that chapter, maybe some Kid Boga in there, you know. But yeah, I'll be putting these on YouTube. Hopefully you all will like them. I know a few of you do. I was able to get a few FEMA reviews. I know you all like the food theory and you like Kid Boga a lot. So I may try to react more to those. For real, my Kid Boga reaction video has gotten me the most, but that's probably just because Kid Boga has a lot of solid in analytics. And what I need to do is add a end screen here. Oh, I am. Oh, I do. Best reviewer reaction videos. Okay, yeah. Because like I don't know if anyone is. I got a total of 2.4 hours watched on there. That's pretty good. I'm just hoping that oh, so 100% of the people who watch this are not subscribed to me. So yeah, it's probably like, yeah, all my videos are like, it's all coming back from yeah, the scam bait videos is what gives me a lot of the analytics. But yeah, I'm gonna do a lot more of these reaction videos. Gonna try to find more things that you do and don't like. I know you guys like Hitboga. I know you guys like food theory, so I'm about to watch a little bit more of those and post a lot more of those, and see how that does for you all. Uh, but yeah, thank you all for tuning in. I I will be here on Wednesday. We're gonna play some Dwarf and get some of that completed, and then I may move over to back to Heavy Rain and try to get that completed for you all. That way we don't run out of stuff to do. But thank you all for tuning in. I will be back Wednesday. You can catch me on YouTube if you want to watch me after that or later on. But see you guys later.